everyone, welcome to Tactica Imperialis and to today's video. Today is episode 100 of Adeptus Podcastus. That's a milestone, bit of a milestone. Joining me as always is Remelays from 40k Theories.
Hello everyone, I have ice cream.
So how did you mean to go on? And, well, I could spend the next 5 minutes running down a guest list, but I'm going to let them do it themselves. So if we go top down from the Discord call, would you please introduce yourselves?
I guess it's me first. Hello.
Yeah, the audience might know your voice, but it might help to say who you are.
Hello.
Hello, mysterious stranger. I am Alpha Busa of Alpha Busa channel. That's it.
Hi, I'm Neve the Trickster of Zinch, aka Avicenna's, aka Arsenic Typhoon, and I'm one of the hostesses upon another podcast, which is Warp Time Radio.
Hello, I'm Disharmonia, and I draw a lot of Warhammer stuff. I don't really do YouTube, but, you know, there you go.
Hi there, I'm Dr. White, and if you know who I am, I'm sorry.
I mean, I should hope I know who you are. You're my boyfriend.
Shut the fuck up, look at your dog. But do you really know him? Shut up!
Hi, I'm Frederick Knudsen, aka the Down the Rabbit Hole guy from the YouTube thing. I'm probably the most out of my element here, but I also play Eldrad Ulthran on Emperor TTS, as well as that one Deldar who shreds his voice constantly and talks like this! That guy! Yeah, he's dead now! But that's okay. So I don't have to do it anymore. That was an accident, actually, but there's a whole story behind that.
Wait, so do I go next because of my name, or did Nary?
We'll go down the Discord call.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, hi, hello, the Deldar thingy continues. Here's a Lady Malice for you all. So, Narina, usually in the 40k Theories Friday videos, Homebrew of the Week. Yeah, that's me.
Hello. I'm Nostalgia, aka Nost. Oh no! Oh god! AKA also that person that wouldn't stop talking about fucking Crown of Destruction. It's a bad comic, and I'll never stop talking about it. Anyway, I also do story time where I read bad fan fiction. Oh, also I play a Frail Stern. I forgot about that for a second.
Where's the next episode, you asshole?
What up? It's your boy Oculus Imperia, the purveyor of the lore. So crank out the old jalopy and let's ride it all the way down to the Imperial dungeon.
Ooh. I thought you were Jacksepticeye for a second.
Wow. That is racist.
Bottom of the morning to you.
Moving on.
Hi. You keep your bedroom talk out of this.
It's your turn now.
Hi, my name is Scarlet at Scarlet Kingdom, and I am one of the 3 hosts of Warp Time Radio, and I am today's serf. So you may refer to me just as girl from now on.
Can I refer to you explicitly as Hot Mama?
Ooh. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you after the call.
Intros before we go off the rails.
No.
No. I guess I'm next. I'm Stormgrad at Stormgrad Games on Twitter and basically everywhere, and I am the 3rd and final host of Warp Time Radio. You'll hear no more from us.
Or will you?
Greetings, Imperial citizens and not Imperial citizens. It is I, Rogol Dong, also known as Super Angus. I'm the guy who voices, obviously, Rogol Dorn, and I do a bunch of background writing, and I also try to interact as much as I can with you guys, the fans, across, I think the list is at 30 Discords now.
Just keeps growing. God.
It grows.
It just keeps growing, and it just keeps growing, and it just keeps growing.
I've heard that.
Just keeps growing.
I don't know how you do that. I can barely talk in my own Patreon Discord.
It's easy. You just gotta interact with people.
And by interact with people, I think he means post feet pics.
Let's continue.
Whoa.
Carrying on.
Moving on.
To do that?
Yeah, it is you now.
I guess it's me, even though I'm fuck. Hello there.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound and mind, but of podcasts. A journey into a horrible land whose boundaries are that of not being able to shut the fuck up. Up ahead is a signpost that will lead you into your next destination. Your next stop, the Fresh Sorcerer, voice of Corvus Corax, and a whole bunch of other people, and also Bulga Potato Skin. And also, I'm sorry for all the amount of times I'm going to be referring to genitalia.
No, you're not.
No, you're right, I'm not.
Hi, I'm Thunder Psyker, a professional hobo and hopefully a creator of things if they happen. I've been described by my peers as Schrodinger's cat in that sometimes I'm out of the box, sometimes I'm dead.
It's about
You're
right.
not a hobo. I've seen your house.
That's not true.
I literally gave you a housewarming.
Get on with it!
Moving on.
Hello, I'm Wib from Snipe and Wib. We make YouTube. Yeah.
I'm Snipe from Snipe and Wib. We do indeed make YouTube. I also voice the little-known character Celestine in TTS and the actual super-duper awesome powerhouse Sire Matilda.
I guess I do Obi-Wan Sherlock Clouseau too.
Yeah.
But I forget about that.
Also, if you make YouTube, then fix the fucking algorithm.
Oh.
I don't think that they meant.
You know what I mean?
And finally,
I'm Zyger.
Right,
so
congrats, you did it.
So, a couple of apologies, people who were not here that were invited. Kirioth has sadly been unable to attend. Non-Queen Alexis was also part of the server, but has had to bail due to job commitments. And Scruffers, I think, is running a bit later, may join us a little later. They were invited. Don't worry, comments, calm down. They just couldn't make it at the last minute. It's fine. Right, final bit of admin, and then I'm just going to let it go. So first off, Scarlett has already mentioned that she's doing the recording, so the audio quality might sound a little bit dodgy. 2, there is no structure to this show whatsoever. And 3, Thunder, Where's the Dawn of War 2 video is episode 100.
Well, it's a good thing that you asked that, because as far as I'm aware, you release these podcasts every Wednesday, don't you?
Correct.
Well, after you release this podcast, or possibly before, the listeners might have something to watch.
Oh my god.
He finally delivers it.
I tried to set up a 93 episode deadline. A really 4-year deadline.
I know, but I was finally able to get some outside help, and I've actually brought him onto the show. So if you guys want to briefly welcome our good friend Herkness Dragonblade.
Oh shit.
Tactica, you had a jape prepared, but Thunder pulled a Uno reverse card on you.
I got absolutely turned on that. I have done the admin. I know it's a bit long-winded. Right, reins off. Have at it.
So you have died.
So I have an idea for
Vampire
a movie.
squids, right?
No. This chicken, yeah.
Don't you steal my idea, you horrible little woman man.
Listen here, you incredibly long, weird bitch.
Snape, don't you talk about me like that, you schoolworthy dwarf woman.
I was going to recommend...
You pastry-faced
If I was
barn-door.
called a long, weird bitch, I think I'd just sink into a depression. I don't know how you handled that.
I take that as a compliment. Like, oh, thank you.
Ooh, Snape. Ooh, you tiny little... You tiny motherfucker.
Since this is real quick, since this is just the start of the podcast, and I want to get this out of the way, if you guys have any other 40k discords I could join, please link them.
Brave
No, I have an actual Discord folder just full of folders called interact and or mess with these people.
Oh my lord! So that's something for you, commenters.
It's
add
honestly
those in the description.
Links in comments go to like held for review, and you're not actually properly published comments. It's a weird thing. Though most of you know that. So yeah, now that you've had your madness, I'm going to try and rein some control back in. So in the news, it's not going to work. I'm going to try as long as I damn well can.
Fuck you.
And demonetized.
In the news this week, the secret
maybe you
behind
will be
Omega.
exposed. It went long enough that I probably got past the demonetization problem.
That's
So,
fair.
I snaked you all. So, obviously a lot
So
of
we can say penis as much as we want now?
Penis.
Frenulum.
The news,
Literally
please,
cannot
Michael.
get canceled
Rotom.
now. You literally
no,
cannot
everybody.
get canceled now, so say anything you like.
Foreskin parachutes made from babies.
But how can you
Know
make
them.
them from baby foreskins when they've already been put in the acid bath?
So many babies.
Well, Michael, the news?
To be serious, for
So
just
where
one
are we
moment.
getting the
So
babies?
anyway, Warhammer 40,000 doesn't have enough naked people in it.
I
What are you talking about? It's nothing but naked people.
I'm playing it
What's
wrong
power
then.
armor then, dumbass?
Yeah, but I'm playing different Warhammer.
Power armor is a sex thing?
Yeah.
Moron?
I mean,
It is.
have you
You
seen
know those, like-
Harlequin holosuits? It's like they're wearing nothing at all.
I'm not
Nothing
gonna
at all.
lie. Power armor turns me on more than anything else.
Power
Nothing
armor
gets
is
me
just-
I can
harder
relate.
than science and
Okay,
technology.
How about that
Should
news,
prefer
huh?
people who want to be
Like,
cars.
power armor looks stupid. Yeah, guys, let's let him get his news out.
Right, yes. news.
Problem is, the news normally takes about an hour, so I don't think I can restrain you that long.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
good
try.
luck with that.
Broad strokes. 9th edition has been getting a lot of faction focuses, including dropping some rules, including I think there was something showing that may have completely broken Terminators by making an unmodifiable 1+ save. Well done there. Station Awakening 9 is out, I think. The Lumineth Realm Lords are also out. I've got a box. They're very, very pretty. And there is a Warhammer 40,000 Marvel comic. The cover has been revealed for that. And I think there's actually somebody involved with Crown of Destruction in that article.
Yes, there
No!
is. Yeah, fucking okay. Here's the thing, Kieran Gillen. Kieran Gillen has become
Oh
an
my God, incredible
incredible
Kieran
writer.
Gillen,
the minute,
really?
the
Die
minute I
is
saw that
awesome.
name on there, I was like, that motherfucker wrote Crown of Destruction.
But Kieran Gillen is so good, though.
I know, but somehow, some way, he wrote that piece of shit. Which the writing is fine, but it's worse because of the art. But just he's back, bitches. And
I was about to say,
oh
at least,
god,
at least hopefully they haven't got the artist who did the weird like picture
Oh,
of what's his Captain America, where it's like they completely messed up the
Of the,
Big
the
chest
giant
boy.
torso.
yeah he's
I mean,
like, got a
Liefeld.
table
Rob
full of
Liefeld.
text.
I would
Yeah,
just like to add.
that's
I would just
horrible.
like to add to the news, if possible, that I just got a notification that famous 5th edition rules writer Matt Ward just followed me on Twitter.
Nice.
You think that's bad?
Oculus.
You know what?
Oculus,
Matt Ward
fucking
gets
block him.
a lot of shit. And kind of rightfully because of like the stuff he did for like Chaos Demons and Fantasy.
Nah,
and
that poor guy got. I mean,
no,
seriously.
but he
because
gets too much. He gets way too much. Don't
Oh,
fucking get me
seriously.
wrong.
I mean, like, if you
it's-
want to criticize his stuff, that's fine. But literally, like, he was getting death threats and all sorts of bullshit.
Oh yeah,
I mean, like,
it's ridiculous because it's
It
fucking-
got me.
much.
It got me into
Yeah.
oblivion.
Hey
It's-
guys,
it's
do you
fucking
think Animal
ridiculous. It's like
Crossing
it's
is
a-
still a thing in the 41st millennium?
I
Absolutely.
I would like to. I would like to real quick just throw out a public apology to Matt Ward for being like exacerbating piece of shit as a 19-year-old.
Same.
I would
because,
also
you know, joining bandwagons is the funniest thing you can do.
Most of us
when
would
you're
hate
a
it.
late
how could you
teen.
hurt me like this by posting this image at me? Why
It's
would
not-
you
I mean,
do
at
this?
least it's not Heinrich Kemmler fucking like stabbing a guy with the same fucking motion in like 2 frames.
The thing about like the Matt Ward thing is that my real name is Matt Ward. So when I was making like 40k artwork back in 5th edition, I'd occasionally get like just harassment and like I got like someone wishing I was dead on my birthday.
Damn, that sucks.
So yeah, I have a lot of sympathy for Matt Ward because I got like an iota of the shit that he got, and all he did was write some books that he wasn't even the sole writer of because you know that's not how.
But that just reminds me
Yeah,
about
it's
like
not how
the
that
poor
works, like,
boomer
Codex
who
is-
is out there somewhere who has the name Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I will say it is really because we follow each other on Twitter, so every now and again I get an existential crisis as I look at my phone and it says Matthew Ward liked your tweet, and I'm like, what?
I mean, I feel exactly the same way whenever I like
Two of
something by
us.
John Bernthal.
Listen,
You know, because my name is John.
Oh, yeah,
Burkle
yeah, of course.
in real life.
Have you ever Googled your name and found out that there's a porn star who shares
Yes.
your name?
No,
That's
my
incredible.
name
I
is
actually had
fucking
a
Frank
similar
Star Wars.
I learned that there is another Frederick Knudsen spelled the same way as my name, which is remarkably rare, who is a footballer. I think a Swedish footballer. And I can't help but wonder, like this guy, I don't think speaks very good English. I've never I looked at his Twitter and he's never posted in English, and I keep wondering like how many messages he's gotten in English to talk about random lolcows.
Just waking up one morning and your inbox is full of "Tell us more about Chris Chan."
Yeah,
Where are the lolcows, Knudsen?
What happened to Russian
The only time I've ever gotten anything like that was supposed to go to the other, namesake of mine was when I was a teenager, and her brother, who was something like 18 or 19 or something, was absolutely hammered and called me to say something like, "Fuck you fucking piece of you fucking fucktard." And my mom answered
when
the
your
phone.
friends, your Finnish friends, get drunk.
Yeah,
they
I'm just
become.
imagining it was more Finnish, so there was a lot more percolas in there.
With you have no idea what I'm saying. But yeah, my mom answered the phone and was there like of course he starts this rant, and she was there like, "Why you little girls at this hour? It's like the young man to go in bed." And he was like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry." By the way, my mom's a teacher, so was a teacher now. She's retired. So she kind of used all her teacher energy into that phone call, and I was so proud of her.
Good.
But fucking it's
So
back
quick,
on topic. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, just to round it out, bad name association. My name's actually John Kramer, so getting nailed to the serial killer from Saw is always fun.
I thought you were about to say the fucking guy from. I thought you were about to say the guy from fucking Seinfeld.
No, it's both. Kramer from Seinfeld, and
His
also
first
my
name
full
is
name.
Cosmo, though.
Yeah, my full name is John Kramer, the same exact name as the serial killer from Saw.
So hey,
You should just change your name to like Mr. Jigsaw. No one will ever make the connection.
Anchors, how's it feel to be the ass man?
Incredible.
Incredible.
I have so many pictures of Tao ass on my computer, it's not even funny.
Oh no.
Hey, also, real quickly, I just want to mention this. The Frederick Knudsen is not Swedish. He is, in fact, Norwegian.
Norwegian, my bad.
And, yeah. That's
Did you just go and try and find him?
Yeah, I did. I just searched it up and I found him immediately.
Yeah, Frederick Paulsen Knudsen.
Anyways, on a 40k related note, before we disappear into
How
madness.
dare you bring 40k
I know.
into this conversation?
Why can't we talk about Warhammer Fantasy?
I posted this in a few chats a while ago, but reading the rules for 2-hit modifiers and plasma guns are the funniest fucking things.
Okay,
what do you mean?
Because the -1 modifier at night and the gets hot rule on once, meaning it could be so dark your gun blows up.
Just like real life.
So,
right,
this ties into the fact that the 9th edition core rules have been released. So if you want to play Warhammer 40,000 9th edition, you can. In fact, I'm sure several people on this podcast have played it. I haven't, because all my models are in boxes ready to move house. But as stands, it is out there, hopefully without quite so much dense cover, because my god, that paragraph scarred our souls.
I will happily fight any viewers in Tabletop Simulator, because I know that the whole distance thing.
I'm happy to fight any viewers physically.
I'm happy to fight anybody.
Snipe, don't forget, we still have to have our drunken boxing match in the Games Works in the Warhammer World fucking car park.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to go film that.
Yeah, I will say
everyone is
just
invited
back
to
on
watch.
topic real quick, just to get back on. And it's me saying this, so
Wow.
you know that something has happened. I will say that I've looked at the 9th edition rules. I do think the one up fucking save is a typo or some sort of fuck up, because if you have a 1-up armor save, congratulations, you can't die.
No,
Well,
no,
not
the
quite.
core rules. One always fails. It still says that
Yes,
ones
but
always fail.
The difference is, and I've had a discussion in my Discord about this, is that if you have a 1+ save, that save cannot be modified by any means, because an unmodified 1 always fails. Therefore, no matter what the attack, you always have a 2+ save. So a Terminator get hit in the face with a las cannon.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, oh, you can't die.
It's not that you can't die, because a 1 does still always fail, so you still can die. But no matter what the AP, I've got AOS on the brain. No matter what the AP of the attack, your save is always a 2+, as far as we understand it.
That would completely negate. Yeah, that would completely negate enormous weapon profiles. Like my whole Tau army would basically find those things impossible to kill.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Which is good.
That's because you picked Cal, though. That's your fault.
I'm glad they
Wait a
fixed
minute,
blast
wait a
weapons
minute.
in close combat though, because like there was that announcement like tanks could fire into like at things approaching them, and then it just turned around and gone, not if it's a blast profile, because it's not going to shoot like a mortar round right in front of it and kill itself.
I don't know what you're talking about. Right in the dirt.
Because apparently, I guess some players were just like bomb rushing like blobs with like cheap ass Lehmans and using them as suicide bombers.
Yeah, has anyone I mean,
Sorry.
gun elevation would like a word with you. Physics would like a word with you.
Exactly.
In case you didn't hear it, I would also like to welcome Scruffers to the podcast. They are here.
Hello, I made it.
Hello, Scruffers. Welcome to the pit.
I was actually just going to say about that terrain rules paragraph and I mean this with the absolute warmest regards for him, that the spirit of Alan Bly and his run-on sentences is still very much being kept alive by the writers at GW.
I will say, because I have, I had a quick, I mentioned this before the podcast, I had a quick game of 9th against myself at 4 a.m. in the morning, the saddest way to play Warhammer.
Well, I mean, unless you
were playing with himself.
If you were wanking and drinking like a Foster's, that would be the literal most depressing thing in the fucking universe.
He was wanking into the Foster's, then drinking.
We didn't have any
Why
Fosters.
would you
That
say
would improve,
that?
it would improve the taste of the Fosters.
Now that's what I call a mixed drink.
Can I?
Oh no!
I was going to say.
Why are you an Eldari and not a Drakari?
I was going to say the status.
Fun fact: I did an entire podcast about someone who puts.
Hey,
It's about
get 20
Gene
people in a
Cena.
room together. They're all going to talk about this.
Qualified teacher agree to this.
You know what, Frederick? You know, Frederick. You know how he mixes.
Yeah, no, can we go back to like 5 minutes ago?
Now
when
that's
didn't
what I
make
call
any
it.
sense?
No, we're in this podcast. We celebrate Slanesh.
I am literally this close to muting.
How
this
do
spell.
you? Can I just say, how can you say that we're going to celebrate Slanesh without talking
but it's
about
with cum?
Can we please just
curse?
I mean, I saw the episode 50 was
Tactica.
bad, but
Anyway.
Talk about chicken. Moving
wish to
swiftly
add,
on. Nothing but a pipe.
Now that
what are your
we've run off half of the
personal
audience.
feelings?
now
What
that
are
everybody has gotten their lewdness all kind of like, run out of their system.
You think?
I'll have you met us.
Okay. Rewind
You would
about
think.
5 to 7 minutes. With 9th edition.
Yes, hello. I was talking about Warhammer briefly. I'm sorry. That was my fault.
I wanted to get back to that. What are your anchors and Michael Tactica? What are your personal feelings on as Tau players? The fact that they still have Overwatch.
I have. Okay, you first. I'll let you go first.
Well, I spoke on this podcast when Overwatch was changed, but Tau had not had their faction focus. So I was sat in the middle, and I said at the time that I would be quite happy for Tau to get a modified. Who's Michael? I would be quite happy to get a modified Overwatch, where, for example, For the Greater Good allows you a second shot, or maybe that bubble effect could go off, but you only got one Overwatch or one burst of Overwatch. I was surprised to see Tau get essentially 8th edition Overwatch back. However, it may prove that through playtesting, it was the only method of game balance they had, because with the new terrain rules, new reserves rules, and other interactions, Tau were not getting enough shooting phases to stand a chance of winning without ridiculous Overwatch. So I don't like it.
Have you considered that Tau were never made to win?
Okay.
Word with you.
Silly
On
fishy
a-
boys.
on
Hey,
a,
very
yeah.
funny joke.
So there's a combination of things. First off, that's a really funny 4th edition joke you got there. And second off,
The sass.
so the Tau, I would have actually rather lost Overwatch personally than had to lose the the fly change, the change to fly.
Yes.
Because the ability for Tau is really in the strength of their battle suits. As much as people want to push the joke that Tau vehicles and Tau infantry are a possibility, the reality of Tau has always been their battle suits. And it's not even about the mecha, haha, like, oh, look, cool, it's Gundam anime. It's more like that's literally how they've evolved over the course of the past 5 editions. So if I have the ability to fall back and shoot, that gives my army enormous flexibility. As an aggressive Tau player, it encourages me to not sink into the pit of a gun line, which is what a lot of Tau players seem to do. Because it lets me, like, okay, cool, you charged my stealth suits, or you charged my ghost keel, or you charged my crisis battle suits. Fantastic. We do the fighting, you kill 1 or 2 models, you wound a couple others, I fall back, and then I unload everything into you. That's how it should be, in my opinion. That would be the Tau's sort of like quote unquote fighting phase or fighting mechanic, because it's like, yeah, you're melee, you got in, you smacked me around a bit, I now jump back and shoot you, and then you charge in with your kind of mediocre shooting phase in between that.
The Tau always strike me as the type that use castle defense. In that kind of way.
Well, actually, in lore, they are the most anti-castle army going. The Tau,
Right,
the Tau don't care about terrain. They don't care about holding a position. They're all about fast-moving, mobile warfare. And particularly if you're playing Montcar, nobody make the joke. If you're playing Montcar, then it is a quick surgical strike. And if it doesn't work, you bail. That's the way the Tau fight. It is lever the odds to your advantage, strike at the opportune moment, and then leg it.
So basically the White
Good morning,
Scars?
Vietnam.
But the White Scars, if the White Scars swapped all of their swords for even more ridiculous, overpowered guns, and actually put on a decent piece of armor.
In terms of keeping Overwatch, though, I think it would have actually been better if the Tau had been granted a faction, like they lost Overwatch, honestly, because the thing is, I have a very specific build which makes Overwatch kind of broken, as in I automatically hit all my shots in Overwatch.
I have an Enclaves build that doesn't really care for Overwatch. I don't play it that way.
Yeah.
I play base rush Enclaves, and that's my way. But I agree with you. I would have lived with losing Overwatch. I would have preferred to have a middle ground where we're the only ones who get a half decent one.
The thing is, okay, here's what I'm trying to say. Tau didn't quite have. They have the capacity to, but in a lot of the really better, in my opinion, lists, they didn't have the volume of shots necessary to make Overwatch really a worth it thing in their standard builds, standard suit lists. Like just a fuckload of burst cannons and an absolute fuckload of pulse rifles is not going to get you much in terms of killing something, especially assault terminators or Fenrisian wolves or anything that's designed to close in and beat your shit. It's not going to stop that. That whole unit's gonna die. You're wasting time applying Overwatch that way. That slows the game down because you're hitting on 6s. If the Tau stratagem basically said you fire at your standard ballistic skill, that would have made it worth it, because now suddenly you have a fair chance. It's like a second emergency shooting phase.
I mean, that's why Tau Sept were the only build run, because their Overwatch hits on 5s, and they castled up like nobody's business. That was the build, as far as I understand it.
Right. I mean, that's if you're going for Overwatch. But a lot of the better lists were like starting to explore like Farsight Enclaves, the Daliath Sept, Marker Light Spam, a bunch of things. That was really how the Tau sort of were evolving into. I can see this being sort of a confused time, because everyone was like, oh, the shooting meta is dead. It's now the melee meta, and then all these rules came out which made it for like the other armies. It seems now
that it's like, oh, the melee's maybe not that great, but it's strong, but we're not sure how strong. And you're not going to really be able to figure that out, obviously, because of the whole, world events going on. But it would be interesting to play test. I really want to run a narrative crusade game, and where I can see a bunch of people coming together. Maybe, I don't know. I'll talk to Rem and you, Tactica, after this, if we can maybe organize something in the future.
That's like the campaign, right?
So a 9th edition crusade is how I would do it. Is I would build using actually elements from like the Rogue Trader planet generations, like the Fantasy Flight Games Rogue Trader a system generation thing, and I would build a subsector, and I would be like, all right,
set in a full
that's a really good idea, man.
That's kind of what we're doing right now. We're in a Necromunda game, some of us, right now, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're forming our own, under high.
Yeah, but this would be more like armies as opposed to gangs. This would be like
it's kind of like a Tale of Four Warlords, but done properly.
I
Xeno show.
My Mechanicus Crusade army sorted. It's 2 Chicken Walkers, one of the new flyers, and just 10 Vanguard in a transport. It's gonna be good.
The thing is, the changes affect everybody in a lot of ways. Like Custodes this is a great addition, I think, for Custodes right off the bat, quite frankly. I do. I think Custodes.
Custodes don't deserve anything in life.
No, I listen. Custodes are gonna have a pretty good time. I think they're gonna be a good upper mid-tier army. Space Marines got a lot of points increases, which is going to reduce the size of armies a good 30-40%, depending on how people make them. In my honest opinion, regardless of faction, this is going to be the monster and vehicle meta. It's not going to be melee. It's not going to be shooting. It's going to be the type of unit fielded. And I do think that fortifications are genuinely going to be seen on the field now, especially with that new. Especially
what you're saying is,
Where do you guys think that the Sisters of Battle will fit?
Man, I sure do love if melee fucking gets reduced in usefulness when I play fucking World Eaters.
I mean, to be fair, if you come through 6th, 7th, and 8th, you've sat through the worst 3 melee editions going. One of the things I've been chatting about with people is they're saying that 9th kind of feels like they're taking the 8th sandbox and the baseline of 8th and giving it back 7, where it's starting to add that complexity. And I don't know how much I agree with it, but I just thought it was something worth throwing out. Also, I'm aware that we cut Wib off twice, so I still wanted to say his piece.
Oh, it's a good job I remembered what I was going to say, doesn't it?
That's beautiful. 4 o'clock in the morning, game against self, that one.
Yeah, but yeah, so I played a little bit. One thing that I did discover is that, I started playing in 3rd, so around 98, 99. And then I missed out 4th entirely and came back in 5th. So I got used to the morale rules being several pages that most people you played with got wrong, because they were just they were fiddly and awkward and just a pain in the ass. And then when 8th made them a single paragraph, I was so happy, because it just made it made the morale phase something people didn't forget. It meant that it was just, okay, it's just this, okay, do it. And I found that with the new system, it's nowhere near what it was, but they added a bit of complexity to the really simple version by adding I forget what it's called now.
Phase.
Yeah, where basically you just roll a dice for every single thing in a unit.
That's good, though.
Which is cool. However, I did find out that because in my test little run, because my army that I'm building at the moment is Rebel Grots, so I had a 30-strong squad of Grots, and because I just threw a bunch of stuff on the table, I forgot to put a runt herd in there. So I then had to roll 27 dice for losing 2 Grots.
Player. Throwing that many dice should be that's a standard attack.
No.
Why you play orcs?
No, I play that to use those in an offensive capability. I don't roll that many dice in the morale phase.
I take your point.
If you do play something with huge amounts of troops, try and have something nearby that can mitigate failed morale tests, because they're going to get. So there's going to be some morale phases.
Synapse creatures, basically what you were running anyway. By the sound
so you need to throw pizza parties to increase morale.
See, that's just the idea of that, is to increase my morale.
My only morale to play this game is as long as I get to play the pretty peoples. And I
I would invite all of you to my GoldenEye pizza party, and we can play Warhammer. And...
Why the fuck we gotta play GoldenEye? We can play better games.
We can play Time Splitters.
Okay.
Yeah, Time Splitters is a lot better.
edible glitter.
Gotta give you kudos for keeping a conversation going, like an actual coherent conversation for that long.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what I'm glad about? I'm glad that vehicles can fucking shoot in melee. I think they should always been able to do that, because why the fuck wouldn't they?
Now, it's always really weird how, like...
It's like, oh hey, oh no, the tank is covered in termagants. What the fuck will we do? Can we shoot it?
Alpha has completely lampshaded this in his own... Alpha lampshaded this so hard in the battle.
Oh no, I'm aware with the Toroxes.
What a tank needs to do is stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah, easy. That's the 100% cure for bean stealers.
There is a slight segue here, though, into the detachment system and knights, because a lot of people were very confused about how Imperial Knights were going to interact with the "you pay for your detachments now" thing, because the Knight detachment costs 6 command points to take a Titanic.
Do you think if you got like a knight and it stood on a really big tank, it could try and do a kickflip?
I think
if you've seen the size of the Atreus, I wouldn't put it past them.
Maybe an Eldar Knight?
Right. Great. Now I could just picture a fucking like warhound riding on a like pair of fucking bane blades like skates.
Okay, hear me out. Hear me out.
Hell yeah, Knight
Hear me
roller
out.
derby.
Yes, Fred.
Wraith guards riding on hover tanks.
Okay, but now I just have the song in my head. I see girls in bikinis wearing roller skates in space in my dreams.
That's a really long song title.
Yeah, that's a really long song title. Are you
It's
saying
not-
that you want to imagine Wraith guards like that?
No, it's not the song title. That's the lyrics in the song.
That would make more sense.
Yeah,
It's like I see girls in bikinis on roller skates in outer space.
May I talk
Eating
about
grapes.
May I talk about what I find is weird with my army that I play, Heretic Astartes?
Please go for it.
Okay, so let's talk about Tide of Traitors, shall we? I don't fucking want to use like 100 fucking cultists because I don't fucking play Alpha Legion or Word Bearers. I play Red Corsairs and World Eaters.
Didn't
Fuck
they already
cultists. They fucking suck.
ban this stratagem off once? They already nerfed it once.
Oh
No,
yeah,
you
but people still did it because like it's still like, you know, 8th edition is kind of the edition of the mass fire, and what do cultists use? Oh, auto guns.
You
get
know
like
what
a
Wraith Knight could wear a bikini.
and it's like, I want to know when the fuck I'm going to be able to use Heretic Astartes in my fucking army called Heretic Astartes. And also, I think it's really weird that, like, okay, so you have to distinguish the Imperium and Chaos, obviously. There has to be some differences in equipment. Some things are better. Some things one army does better. Some things one army does worse, right? Okay, why doesn't Chaos steal shit? Why don't they fucking steal storm shields and kraken bolts and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna put a demon inside of this, and it's like, oh, now it's a demon shield or the demon kraken, you know, that shit.
Because the forces of chaos have morals, Fresh.
Fucking shit.
I was going to say
into
the forces of
moon.
chaos have no brains, but Thunder's works do.
No, it's like
It's also because the Dark Mechanicus, whenever they get their hands on anything the main Mechanicus has made, go, let's play with that, and then break it and go,
okay, but like
we didn't have
they
it.
should- I think the Chaos should have like way more options because the
Killing
Imperium
is
is.
bad and it's against the Bibble.
If you look at fucking the Imperium's options for their fucking Space Marines and their Primaris Marines, they have way more fucking options in terms of just like basic equipment that they can take in comparison to like
a little peek at that actually. No, Fresh. A little peek at that actually. There is a lore story that did come out. The Brazen Claws were a Primaris reinforced chapter that fell to heresy when they were, during that whole story where the captain of the Custodes blamed one of them.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Did
Anyway,
nothing wrong.
basically, you should be seeing heretic or traitor Primaris
No,
Marines.
I'm
go in-
also glad that I finally get to have the big beef boys, because even if you just take them in small detachments, they're really fucking good.
Yeah,
Give
they
me
are.
Chaos, the double dash car.
One of the in-canon explanations for why the Dark Mechanicus is not as good as the regular Mechanicus is the fact that they are just obsessed with breaking the laws of physics and shoving demons in things.
Okay, but you think that should give you
and
like...
they don't understand how they're fixing shit or building it. They're just like, how can I make new things?
No, but like
Can we go back to where someone said there was a possibility for demon crack? Because that shit sounds tasty.
I said demon kraken, like demon kraken shells. You know, fucking
I just
like.
want demon
Please, Fresh is
shit.
trying to be normal. Please let him.
I am
is
trying
a
to be
rare
normal. I
opportunity.
have
Holy
brains
cow.
on my brains. Please let me use them.
Brains on your brains? You have
Shut
more
the
than
fuck
one?
up. Let me talk.
No, no, you have more than one brain. This needs to be explained. How many heads do you have?
Don't worry, I'm not.
Caterpillar, when every time he
Oh,
sheds
no.
his skin, he keeps his hair, like his old head as a hat.
Don't worry, I'm
Oh.
not human. But anyway, so anyway,
Okay,
I
but,
think
like,
that
there's that one Junji Ito story.
I
with
was
the
thinking the
cat.
exact same thing. Ancestors. Ancestors, I think it's
and,
called.
and it's like the caterpillar thing. with
Look,
the
no,
heads.
I'm not a human caterpillar head where I just sew brains on myself.
Can you at
Yeah,
least
you
be a
do.
human
not?
cat?
Honestly,
I
I
like
think
cats.
you're probably more of a human anglerfish where you just got like a bunch of other people's testicles hanging off you.
No,
What-
that would mean that he's
What?
attached himself to Nost and like he, you know.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
go back,
I
can
actually
we go
can't
back to
believe
what
that
we
we
were
went to
talking
the
about?
exact
You
same.
were gonna
You know what?
say-
You know what? I'm surprised that I'm not the one that went into weird fetish shit. This time.
You got me there too. I actually genuinely I forget who I messaged, but I was like, Fresh is probably gonna derail this. I can tell you right now. And then you
And then
are
I happened.
you are trying so hard. So you're making me so proud, Fresh, right now. You're trying
proud.
so hard to keep this on rail.
I'd
By the
say
way,
both
I
of
want
you,
to
but I think I'd mess with
apologize.
audio.
I actually legitimately want to apologize for steering us towards cum earlier.
You know what, Frederick? You can make it up to
Chaos.
me.
Thing
You
is,
can make it
I
up to
did-
me by responding to my messages more. You son of a bitch! I'll kill you.
Gee, I wonder why you have to reply to Fresh's messages.
But yeah, you were saying Fresh.
My point is, I believe that Chaos the Heretic Astartes in specific, and also kind of applies to Chaos Demons as well. I believe that they lack a lot of flexibility that the Imperium has, because this edition has been really, really, really nice to Imperial players, and me and the people I play with say that not the saddest way to play 40k right now in this edition is to play a Xenos race.
Yeah. Except how because they've been overpowered as Sin and Eldar because they
Except for
broke the game with their
But it's
flyers
like if you
again.
play Orcs or Tyrann, get fucked.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Isn't that just how it always is, though?
Yeah, I was about to say,
tier.
they're saying, oh, this edition has been very kind to Imperial. It's always kind to Imperial.
Well, guess what? Who sells more? It's the Imperial.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's just marketing at this point, honestly.
And also, fucking like, okay, so Chaos Terminators, in comparison to Loyalist Terminators, Chaos Terminators are like way worse because
Oh,
like Chaos
absolutely.
Terminators, because like okay, Chaos Terminators, you get your options are Lightning Claws, Thunder Hammers now, combi weapons. Oh, do you get like a Storm Shield? Do you get like all of the cool like flexible shit that Loyalist Terminators? No, you don't. Fuck off.
Mom, why don't I get
And
the
and
cool
it's like,
toys?
okay, this is like my thing. It's because Chaos should maybe not have all of the options of the Imperium, right? Because like that would just, well, then you'd just be playing Imperium, but like spiky and edgy and blah blah blah. But I believe that they should have comparable options at least some of the time that are like maybe less reliable but more potent, and it encourages you to like be aggressive and to take risks and to take chances.
Demon weapons
and
work, 'cause-
also,
Sorry.
no, demon weapons are like.
Well, they used to be power weapons that gave you D6 attacks unless you rolled a 1 and then they smacked you in the face, which is basically what you're asking for, which is take a risk to get more power,
Well,
but
no,
it might
because-
smack you in the face.
Well, then you just plain
weapons
orcs.
As the
well,
demon
demon
sword
weapons
just
are
says, "Why
also-
are you hitting yourself?"
Demon weapons are also just not that good.
I would personally, just to vouch on this, I would personally give like Traitor Marines the same looting rules as Orcs used to have. And just be like, hey, if you want to have anything that isn't
But
like
that
an artifact,
leads into GW and third-party licensing, and that's kind of why I think looted wagons and stuff went in the bin. Which is sad.
Well, no, I'm not talking. Well, yeah, I get where White is going for though, but I mean like for stuff, not like vehicles and whatnot, because
like anything that isn't labeled an artifact could make sense. Just like
Fresh. Sorry, go ahead.
I would.
Look, all I was gonna say is that all that does though is that you play Traitors and Renegades. The thing is that's essentially Imperium, kind of not Imperium. That if you give Traitors and Renegades more expansive options, you're pulling away from the flavor and context of the dedicated Legion armies.
And there is an argument of if you're playing Chaos Space Marines and you have all the access that Space Marines have.
Again, I'm not saying that we should give them all of the options. I am saying that they need more options, so they are.
Yeah,
oh no, I'm not disagreeing with you there. Chaos needs some expansions because, like, you in a Nurgle army in 8th edition, you had to take Nurgle demons, or you were absolutely bending yourself over for any army. Even orcs could kick your ass.
I mean, isn't that kind of what Nurgle might want, though?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
also,
pretty much the same
just a
thing
quick,
with Thousand Suns taking
just
in
a quick thing.
Zazgors.
If you play mono demons, you're fucked. If you play you're fucked. If you play mono demons.
No, Slanesh demons.
Play those demons in stereo, dude.
Fuck.
So, on a news-related topic, I would like to completely derail the conversation by moving this to Age of Sigmar, if I may.
I'm down.
The hero creation rules that came out today are like.
This is part of the General's Handbook, which is being redone. They've sneaked that in before the 9th edition Storm, which is dropping on the 25th with pre-orders on the 11th, just to get that bit out the way. So match players got secondary objectives like 40k has, because AOS and 40k have just started copying each other's homework. A hero creator that actually does something interesting with what is it, Destiny points, like RPG XP. I'll let Oculus take the reins on this one.
There are a lot of like cool little RPG elements that are built into this, but I want to talk about the ancestries thing for a start, because they let you pick one of 23 different like Age of Sigmar Mortal Realms archetypes, and this is everything from like an orc to an elf to a dwarf to a gore.
No halflings.
Goblin, no halflings. No halflings, and even more of an injustice, no trolls. I'm sorry.
Not on the list.
This is no. Trogs are not on the list, and halflings are not on the list. And this is
halflings technically don't exist in AOS yet. That's fine. But yeah, no trog-offs. I did see Dragon Ogre though, so it's like they're actually willing to do some edge stuff.
The hell, man! Dragon Ogres get a hero.
Dragon Ogres.
Also, while we're on AOS and the General's Handbook, I want to draw attention to the Coalitions of Death, which is the new multiplayer system, because they reintroduced for the first time since 7th edition 40k the Allies Matrix. Yes, that's a thing now, but not for like your allies in your army. It's like multiplayer allies. And they completely buggered it because the Lumineth Realm Lords, and I've said this before, are able to take a Ideneth Deepkin in their book as their only legal allies. They can't ally with Stormcast. They can't ally with Daughters, Sylvaneth, whatever. Ideneth only is their allies listed in the battle tome. Yet in Coalitions of Death, they are desperate allies with the Ideneth and get on just fine with the Sylvaneth and the Stormcast. And the book gives no explanation for why Teclis and the children he tried to genocide are now able to work together as an alliance in their battle tome, but are desperate allies in the multiplayer, and why.
Again, it's because of the pizza parties. That's how you increase morale in Faith's army.
Indeed.
Soul pizza.
You throw it.
It's frutti di mare.
Yeah.
You throw a
Bring an
pizza
ice cream
party,
truck.
and then everybody forgets that you tried to commit genocide. This is what's been going wrong.
It's fucking Warhammer. Genocide's just what you fucking do on a fucking Sunday, okay?
Yeah, but
Universe, you can forgive anyone for
basically played the
genocide.
role of Kronos and tried to genocide his own kids.
Yeah.
These
Except they
hobbies.
didn't manage to break his skull with being alive.
You know, he gave a card to his kids. It was just like, hey, sorry about like almost killing you and stuff. You want to get a pizza?
So hey, I've got a joke. I've got a joke for you that I told Fresh a long time ago, and I got the greatest reaction out of him.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh dear.
No, that's not all I talk about. Goddamn. No. So he was playing Total Warhammer one day,
As I do.
and he was playing the elves, and I looked at him and I said, "Hey, so the elves, they're super into magic. They're not really all that into science, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "So would you call them techless?"
Fuck you. fucked off a building and died, I wouldn't cry.
This
Find
is
a
good.
nice
This is
long
podcast
bridge,
100%.
a nice long pier. Just keep walking. When you reach the end, don't stop. Just keep going.
If
you
you
mean that one
died,
That pond was so good though. Kind of
You know
like
that bridge in
That
Alaska?
is very good. Also, the book basically confirms that we're going to get a Tyrian army because they've only put half of Hish into the book, which is absolutely swell. Also, Shadow Demons confirmed for Malerian whenever that's a thing.
Isn't it great that they've confirmed that they've only released half of the stuff? This is like day one DLC bullshit, right?
I mean,
But
I
with
mean, if the
40K.
day one DLC is,
With
hey,
Warhammer.
have an army with chariots, bolt throwers, and a second god, then for once, it's not.
That's
as
an
terrible.
expansion pack, not a DLC.
I mean, that's a sequel. It's an entirely second game. It's half the concept, half the realm has yet to fight, and it's
Yeah.
Tyrion's half, the warrior half, and God, give me the sun god who is also blind and has militaristic elves. I love the elves in
But
Neo.
like on that note, since Teclis is like the whole moon aspect, why are they not called Moonaneth Realm Lords? I'm just saying goodbye. Okay, goodbye.
we are the Moonaneth. We are the superior elves. We live
So
on the
basically,
moon.
they're moon, but elves.
No, they can see this
I was
because I'm
gonna
doing
say
it
the
hard
moon
man.
from Aqua Teen Hunger
All
Force,
right.
but you know.
Let's
I thought you meant the streamer. I was confused.
Anyway, my
Me-
thesis statement is chaos needs more options. I don't want to
Yes.
fucking ally with demons all the fucking time because
Yes.
my guys don't fucking want. No. Also, make demon engines better. Maybe I'm tired of my ballistic demon engine having a 4-up fucking ballistic skill. What the fuck is
How do you
that?
think I
A
feel as a
4-up.
Tau player?
A 4-up. That might as well be fucking nothing.
Let me guess. Welcome to the. Your faction is all about shooting. You have one damage phase in the entire game, and you got a 4-up on everything.
Also,
but you
maybe more demon engine. Maybe make a dark mechanicus army. I don't know. They
I'm
only
sorry.
have a megavocal.
There's
Yeah, we
Wheel of
need
New
to-
Codices.
Yeah, we
Remnades.
need to interrupt this because breaking news, we have been tagged on Twitter like all of us.
I haven't seen it yet. Remlays, take the wheel.
No
Yes,
one tagged me.
I would if people shut up.
Everybody, shut up. Okay, yes, yes, Remlay.
Right, so something big from Psychic Awakening Pariah. It's teasing the return of squat armies. With a nice little thing in the Echoes of Psychic Awakening thing. We have 42 days galactic due west of Trajax Void Station, approaching subsector 47 Grendel, periphery of the galactic core. We caught some form of weaponized gravitational field and interrogative with what by the Omnissiah said emanation is original rating from that vessel. Attend the markings as hold. This cannot be. Official archive dogma dictates that they are rendered extinct. Empirical evidence not to be denied, no matter how heretical it's true. The vessel belongs to squats.
Well, squat, it cuts off at A. Doesn't
So-
quite say squats, but
It's obvious.
Not only
The
do we
squat.
possibly have.
So I think this is Inquisitor's
Not only do we
Abominable.
possibly have squads, we also have grav guns. Imperial grav guns going back.
Marines have had them for an edition and a half.
Yeah, but they're shitty ones.
Is this just going to be like a White Dwarf
This is-
Inquisitor detachment kind of thing, where the squads are like, you can take a detachment of squats. It's great, funny.
Given the language of this thing, it seems to be like the squat empire.
Yeah, I mean, it's called 47 Grendel. Grendelson would like a word with you.
And close to the galactic core where the squat homeworlds originally were. And
Oh my
considering it's, like,
God.
it's supposed to be extinct, as like
Oh,
the squat empire's still
My
around.
God, no! If they declared independence, of course the Imperium would say they were extinct. Because they wouldn't fucking like.
So
Oh
what,
God,
so what
forget about
keyword
it.
are they going to have? Because they're not Xenos. So
In fairness, the squats were never officially part of the Imperium until after the Nids turned up and ate most of them.
Please make them not part of either the Imperium or Chaos. Please,
Yes,
please.
yes, yes.
The thing is,
Independent squat
the
nation.
40K has this sort of nice, neat triangle of Imperium, Chaos, Xenos, and squats being humans don't fit Xenos, and if they're not Imperial or Chaos, then they kind of just sit in the middle of this awkward dirt. And what the heck do we do?
I want them to be awkward. Please.
Squats should be awkward.
That like if there's something that I feel I hear a lot of people criticize about 40k from the outside of it, It's that everything seems to revolve around the Imperium, and that's especially prevalent when you consider Chaos as such a massive part of it, and most people lump the alien side of things as just the Xenos.
Oh, it's Chaos.
So make the squats the actual good guys, like the only real, like objectively good faction.
I hope that their theme music is going to be Diggy Diggy Hole.
I mean, honestly, if they are rebellions, if they are like revolutionary rebellions against the Imperium, and they're dissidents of them, and you're rejecting them, then they're already on their way to become like objectively the good guys. So
It's the small kings.
The last time we had an army of objectively good guys, that was Third Ed Tau, and everyone hated them.
Am I the only one who unironically fucking hates the squats?
I'd like to point out that
I don't really like them either.
no one has ever liked the Tau. Like, it's not. It's just because people don't like the Tau. It's got nothing to do with the fact that they were good.
It's just a fucking joke from 3rd and 4th edition that just never quite died.
It's the same fucking joke people have been making for like for fucking ever, where it's just the one fucking joke about the Tau. It's like, oh, we are space communists. That means we gotta hate them. It's like, fuck off. Get a new fucking joke. Make fun of something else. You fucking
yeah, they have one. It's called Magnus did nothing wrong, and I'm
come on, there's like
Dark Eldar player here.
You don't understand the rule of 40K.
We won't get a new rule book.
Every army is allotted one joke per army, and that's the same joke you'll hear forever.
Guys, sorry,
until you die.
I need to post the same 12 heresy memes into this Facebook thread.
I need to
please.
keep saying
I've had them since
heresy.
2008.
Heresy, and then say blam, because that makes it even funnier.
If I say the funny heresy word and never say blam, that's gonna be funny. I'm gonna get the internet
Community,
points.
I just want to say, we love you. We love the memes. We came here from the memes. We were born from the memes. We fucking hate the memes. You hate the memes.
Transcended the memes.
Everyone hates the memes. We
Don't
live
you
them.
fucking love Baneblades?
I'm sorry for Sydney.
It's more like these memes need to evolve. We need to let go. It's like, does anybody still do Rage comics?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the thing again now.
Yeah, they're called Wojaks and Zoom Zoom Zoom. Yeah, it's that fucking like comic book style, like Zoom Zoom Zoom.
Okay, yeah, but okay, so it's evolved, but it's still evolved. It's different. They're not literally going epic and then bringing like a bomb.
Literally saw that the other day.
I don't know. I
When
still
someone's like led driving to the store, and I was like, "What fucking
It's
year
time
is
to
this?"
bring it back. It's been 9
I'd
years.
like to
It's time
drink
to bring
acid,
it back.
please.
Oh man,
I'll take drinking acid for
I think
400.
Haven actually does that.
Oh man, the unmentionable crowd we can't mention is not gonna like this episode, are they?
Hey, hey, Fresh, I was about to say, maybe we should go back to 2013 versions of ourselves.
Yes. Yeah, let me just be a huge fucking dickhead asshole who just gets
I
angry.
don't know if I could take the abuse from the both of you at the same time.
I don't want to be questioning my sexuality.
I shall catch this joke.
Anyway,
God. Catch this joke
I don't
again.
even know what I was doing.
Anyway, on a
7
happier
years
topic.
ago. Holy cow.
On a
Getting
happier
back
topic.
to the topic. Yeah, getting to the topic.
Happier topic. Do you think that this will be the editions where greenskins actually get to do things?
Yes.
No.
So,
Yes,
funny
please.
fucking way, I think they're gonna actually be useful. Mech guns. I think it's gonna be really stupid, but I think mech guns are gonna be actually really fucking useful for orcs because they're hitting on 4s, which is great.
Why is the best unit in an orc book a grot gun?
Because fuck you, it's a blast
Fuck
cannon
you.
now. It's a blast weapon now, and it'll be great. The
I'm
fucking
quite
orc
aware, but I've
Give
played
me-
orcs for 6 years, and not once did I ever
my
consider
orc
artillery.
Death Corps of Krieg. I want to see the skies blotted out with kind of semi-accurate artillery fire.
You know what? You know what I
Well,
want to see?
you don't
I
have
wanna,
to be accurate if you just hit everywhere.
You know what I want to see? I want to see the Doom Diver catapult from Warhammer Fantasy coming to.
That's
40K.
mech guns. That's mech guns.
Can we just catapult the orcs? Just throw the orcs. We don't need artillery.
We
Just
already
throw
have
them.
big problem with the snotling launchers, so
Oh yeah.
The big problem with the mech guns, as someone who is currently building an all grot army, so I'm like looking through the list and going like, oh, what can I use that I don't have to convert? And like mech guns are one of them. And then you look at them and you go, okay, they cost this amount of points. And you look at how much money they actually cost in real life. They're the most absurdly overpriced piece of plastic that Games Workshop sell.
Okay,
and that's saying something.
Wib, Wib, I got you, Bob. Okay, so listen to this. All you got to do is you got to take some fucking old janky like plastic wheels from like a wagon model or something from like a dollar store, jam them onto a side of a little cutout thing, and then stick a tube on it.
Wib did say without having to convert.
Yeah, because
You
like
need to make your
I'm
orc models the same way the orcs make everything.
because like I collected like a full orc army before I scratch built like most of the things, and I'm currently, if I'm making a grot army, then I'm having to like scratch build or heavily convert half the things in the army anyway. So if I can find anything that I can just buy out of the box just to give myself a break.
Yeah, because how else are you supposed to forge the narrative?
My narrative! They drown in the swamp!
I raise you Ryan Strada Balastari. It's £5 more, and it's one giant chicken walker, and it's less effective, probably around the same point cost as a mech gun.
Fair
And I still want to think about like chicken walkers is going there. Like,
Okay, well, imagine chicken walkers, but it's just like a giant alpha with his Swedish hat, with two giant chicken walkers under his arms.
I've got a pitch for a movie, right?
It has
involves a
actual
chicken.
chicken walkers.
Okay.
Yes.
But we chop the chicken's legs off and replace them with giant mechanical stilts.
Yeah.
I can't afford paint, so my green skins are now just gray skins.
That's like the opposite of Baba Yaga's house, where
They're all skins.
That's genius. Oh god, that's genius.
Giant
Dare you?
They're just very sad orcs.
put a house on it.
Oh, by the way, did you guys see the lists, the number of kits that came out in 8th edition? It's actually quite depressing.
How many kits came out?
Oh yeah,
Alright,
I saw that.
so-
It was incredibly depressing.
62 Space Marine kits were released over the course of 8th edition.
Yay.
How, just because I got to follow up with my army here and Tactica's army here. We got one.
Ouch.
As the
Tyranids got 0.
As the only Tyranids player in this call, I think I'm crying.
I'm Tyrannid.
I'm a Tyranid player.
You know what? I'm gonna say for the
yeah.
Tyrannid players, I feel
Hi.
so sorry for
I
you.
forgot.
I'm
Sorry.
so
Yeah.
However, shooting carnifex is looking really good for you guys right now, actually.
I do know about the whole Tyranids get no model thing. Is it? That's because most of the Tyranids range. There are exceptions. I expect there are exceptions. There's actually a really good range that you don't need to mess with.
Kind of shooting carnifexes. What kind?
Okay.
Dakafexes are the best.
They get in. Okay, so the rule for 9th is vehicles and melee. Vehicles and monsters can shoot while in melee. So you run a carnifex into melee that has nothing but guns on it. And it's a shooting carnifex that charges into melee, which is fucking horrific. It's a shooting carnifex that closes to melee, not to smack you in melee.
Is this for high tyrants as well? Or do they
Yes!
count?
Yeah, just fucking slap wings on that bitch and fucking give it guns.
Well, obviously, it's so you don't have to aim anymore.
So what you're describing is essentially just a gigantic Kellamorph.
Yes, basically. Tyranids don't melee because they're all monsters. You just hurl Tyranid monsters into melee to shoot. It's so backwards. It's great, and I'm so excited about it.
Sounds like you could just counter it with like las cannons. And
No,
fucking...
because if they get into melee with your fucking heavy weapons crew,
well,
what are you gonna do?
that depends on you winning the roll off.
Okay, cool. I fucking I run my carnifexes in. They fly. Come at me.
No, but if you lose the roll off, you can just get shot off the board because
I
of all the
hide-
fucking las cannons.
Yeah, but
Well, I
the
mean,
fucking
otherwise that
rules
won't happen.
Fresh basically say fuck that because now I can jam the board full of 1 million metric tons of terrain, so I can just hide everywhere. Also, you can't charge for cover, so eat ass.
I'm really sorry to derail, but you guys have been talking about like chicken walkers, and there's a chat going on for people who are listening to the podcast. We're like to talk like we're also in text, like talking with each other. And I'm seeing the chicken walkers, and
I will put it on
like,
screen for the benefit of the viewers.
Do you think it's possible for chicken mech to be lost in the woods? And I'm thinking chicken mech, but it's a Baba Yaga hut.
That was
So you just said,
unique
oh my god,
design.
so the pilot's like this
Basically
grizzled
like
old lady.
That's the
That's
fantasy
very-
version.
That is
Yeah.
very
That would
Ink
actually be
28 of you. That is
badass.
very
Yeah,
Ink
I
28
literally
of you.
said the same thing earlier, but like a million people were talking over me.
Make
Oh
a
my-
model of that.
No, I think this is like the third time that
chat
we've been
has,
on
like,
the
20
exact same
people.
wavelength.
Yes.
I'm so sorry
Right?
for getting
Like-
like that, Yelly.
3 times. This is kind of getting ridiculous.
So just
Why?
admit
Be
that you
afraid.
both like have a
I'm very
telepathic
afraid.
connection or something. Or like
They're
are the
the
same
same
person.
person.
Holy shit.
I mean,
Not the
if
same
we're the
thing.
same person, then yeah, White has some.
I mean, Eldred Ulthran and the Trickster of Zinj.
I mean, I wouldn't be that fussed.
wonder.
Let's fucking go.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the fuck's going on.
I don't know, but it might have sexy results.
In which case, we're going to move on now.
Smack my green dick on the
I
table.
will be right
must.
back real quick and I will see where
Circumference
the
of
conversation has
babies.
gone.
But yeah, what I
Subject
was saying
change.
earlier that we were talking about giant chickens, and I was just like, do you think that's what happened to Baba Yaga's house? That
God,
she
yeah.
had a giant chicken, cut its legs off, and then put it to on her house, and then use necromancy to make the house move.
That's a good idea for a movie.
Okay, so the movie pitch right is
Isn't that
Baba
kinda like-
Yaga
Sorry,
gets
segue,
addicted to
segue.
crocodile.
Isn't that like House Moving Castle though? Where it's like an enchanted
Yeah.
house.
Someone wants to
nearly got it.
segue. Let him
This is just a
segue.
demon
So
though.
there's a
Segue.
segue to the new interrogator animation that has entered development, and I wondered if the artists or any of the animators had an opinion.
I'm both of those things.
I'm just sad that the Segway company has gone out of business now.
Good.
I like
Let's
those
be
shadows in
honest,
that
they
picture.
were gentrified fucking like razor scooters.
I know, but considering we use the term Segway, it feels missed not to bring it up.
Fair
I
enough.
well,
So
what
this
is like
new
using
interrogator
Segway thing
is
so much now that that's like reaction icons that we have in our streams.
so
Fuck
interrogator.
segways, moon shoes.
This animation that I'm trying to talk about is essentially Warhammer Crimes animation, where we have a noir-style detective drama with an inquisitorial agent down on their luck. And I just wondered if
Dark
anyone
Knight.
had an opinion.
Shitty night.
You know what?
Paul and Amatsek would be the perfect cure right now.
You know, yeah, Alpha, you need to take credit for this because you're the Halloween special with
Indeed.
Dark Knight as the arbitrator.
Yeah, they're just ripping
Emmy
you off.
nominated composer is scoring it.
I think that's a good idea. I feel like Hive cities are kind of the perfect place for like cyberpunk noir
Absolutely.
stuff to happen.
We don't get enough noir in
It's
in
going to
40K.
be an interesting change of pace because usually, at least from my perspective, the focus on Hive cities tends to be like what goes on the Underhive and like Necromunda and the Mad Max nonsense that goes on down there. So I think that I only hope that they kind of hammer home that the arbitrators are horrible, awful, brutal things.
Inquisitor rather than arbitrator, but yes, a fair point.
Yeah, I would appreciate if they like kind of did the point of like, oh no, this is evil. What's going on? It would be nice, but I don't know.
So wait, is this being done by the Hammer and Bolter team?
It says
Yeah,
that it
I
is.
think it's part
It's
of
not
the
the same team. It's the same like company, the Story Forge, but it's not the same team.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And it is going to be a full series, as in their own words. And the animation studio is Sun and Moon, if that means anything to people.
Oh
So-
yeah, I know those. They like they're in the sky.
Yeah.
But sort of continue your
So
point,
angry
I
about
think
Sandman.
making it very obvious that a lot of the things there are not necessarily good would definitely be a healthy approach, considering it seems that there's a certain amount of people who don't understand necessarily that that's the case with 40K for the most part.
What are you talking about? What about what you mean what do you mean disharmonia? It's the perfect system.
To the screen,
Right?
It's so over the top and everything that I just feel like it wouldn't look right if it wasn't animated. Like it would look, there would be too much uncanny valley going on with all the green screen and everything. I mean, you just need to look at something like the mess that was Jupiter Ascending.
Well, I mean, I mean, the reason for that is like your brain can unconsciously accept like ridiculous things like that going on in animation because you're just like, oh, that's not real. That could like happen. But if it's like if you
had a lot more problems going for it other than just animation.
yeah. Meanwhile, with like live action stuff that's just stuff with CG, part of you is just like, I don't know, that seems too much.
Yeah,
At least
I
it's like
went to the CG conference like a couple of years back, and they did actually explain the science behind the uncanny valley. It was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know-
apparently You subconsciously actually are able to see like the capillaries under someone's face moving, and so when you're presented with a animation or something where that isn't happening, like even when you're watching someone on the screen, you easily like pick up on like this sense that something's not right, and it gives off the same chemical reaction in your brain as identifying when someone's dead. So that's why you feel so uneasy.
That's very interesting, actually.
Oh yeah, that's the same feeling I get every time I see Alpha Busa.
I mean, Frederick, having known Alphabusa since he was a little baby man, that's just normal. Like, looking at Alpha and feeling like something is wrong is just the natural reaction.
Little
baby man.
And Frederick, this is why you don't go sneaking behind his windows.
If I'm honest, I think that Alpha might be some form of wood elf.
Yeah, just every time I see him, wait a minute, that's not an egg.
I mean, think about it, right? He's obscenely tall. He had a career planting trees. He owns a chicken that ran off in the woods and came back alive.
Oh my god! Live near where Midsommar, that film by
I'm
Ari
pretty
Aster.
sure. Okay, genuinely, there was this one time Alpha Busa sent me a little like package of things as like a thank you for being a voice actor for so long, and he sent me some stuff, and I was like, oh, it was really cute. Like it contained like some Custodes models to paint, including the paints and brushes as well. It contained some Swedish chocolate, and then it was a fully made like wooden bow, and it contained this fucking like note that was written in a script I didn't understand. So I had to go to my little friend who lives in the fucking woods, and I was like, can you describe this? Can you fucking tell me what this says? They say, give me a second. They put it out in the sun. They wait 31 days for some kind of solar cycle to read it, and it just says egg.
I'm so sorry about
That
that.
is
Also, real quick,
that is fucking masterful.
That is so beautifully on brand.
You got fucking moon rooms. That's
fucking
like
pranked.
Prank.
I did.
And the fact that Alpha's on mute, so we have to talk about him in the
Yeah,
He can't even defend himself.
He left to go do something.
Yeah, this is a glorious surprise that he'll get when he gets to listen back to the episode in real time.
And I told you, man, he's a fucking wood elf.
I've been trying to make him a return thank you box for like 2 years.
I don't know his address. I can't send him anything. I would have sent him a handgun.
Just send it
Will
to like
kill himself with
middle of the woods in Sweden.
Yeah.
I did ironically like get something from
True
him, but I
Eggman
made a little
at
reaction
Wilderness,
video.
Sweden.
Yeah, there we
I
go.
made-
That's actually his address.
See
Please
you in the
don't
middle of
knock
the
Alpha
forest.
Booster live on air.
Nah, just put it in as the set for Midsommar.
Do
I
the
thought
woods
that-
to the chicken.
I thought that how you summoned like a delivery was you go outside your house, you yell egg, a chicken appears, and you grant that chicken a boon, and then he will carry it to Alpha Busa.
You have to roll a d6 to see what the boon is,
son
though.
of Baba Yaga, and that's why he's always got all of these mysterious chickens around him.
You know what really bugs me is the fact that he sat there.
Move its legs and make his own chicken house.
Yeah. It's like he literally sat there and lied to all of us, and he was like, "Oh, this chicken I had just ran into the woods and then came back like a week later." It's like, no, motherfucker. Actually, we're onto you. We know that you train them to deliver messages and eggs.
I mean, that's how we sent him
yeah.
that package a while back.
Yeah.
Again, like
it's like
he's
messenger
a
pigeon,
wood
but
elf from Warhammer Fantasy. He's from the forest of Athel Loren. He's a wild rider. He was gonna become Orion, but then he was like, no.
Wait, no, I've got it. He's a chicken changeling.
It would be
chicken changeling. Does that mean you change chickens?
It would be
means-
completely in character if just like I hear a pecking at my door and I go and open it and there's just a chicken with like a sign around its neck that says Alpha Busa. It lays an egg. It lays an egg in front of my front door and then walks off. I would not even like consider that was
Okay.
strange.
What are you?
It
What
was
are you
perfectly-
fucking?
No. Here's what I thought you were going to say. Here's my version of that. It's like you hear pecking at your door, right? And you go to answer it. You look down. There's There's a chicken there, but like for some reason, it's just Alphabuse's head. But it still can make a pecking somehow. It lays an egg, it hatches, and then like Alphabusa the person is in there as like a mini him covered in like egg
Okay.
mess. And then it's like
covered in the coconut oil.
Yeah.
This is
Also-
like turning into an animation student's thesis project.
But yeah,
Also-
Alpha, we're talking about how you're a chicken changeling and how
Yeah.
there was a child that was brought to the nearest chicken farm and was exchanged for you, king of the fairy chickens.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
How you
or
can control
you are the
chickens
son
like
of
that.
if it's any consolation, Alpha, I said you were a wood elf.
Right. Okay.
No,
so
look,
well, I mean, I feel
question.
that Alphabusa, like you hear a pecking at your door, you get up, you go and you open the door, you look down, you see this 6'9" Swedish guy covered in coconut oil and mismatched feathers, and he's lying in like the fetal position, and you're like, "Can I help you? Should I call someone?" And he's just like,
Egg. Okay, so Segrim, first you link secret egg video, and then you tell secret egg origins.
I feel like as we fill out this lore, we get closer and closer to turning Alphabusa into just Xavier Renegade Angel.
We get closer and closer to the technologic. We get
For a
closer and
minute,
closer to the fucking Alpha.
Is egg the new cactus, Alpha?
Important question.
Maybe
we have to kill it.
Would someone who would eat alpha egg?
"Me,
Me.
I'd eat Alpha.
I'd scramble it
I thought
first."
we said no vor.
You know what it means?
It's not vor. It's something that's come out of him that he's made himself. It's not
It's
weird.
called cooking. Anyway. We're back on talking well.
It's cool.
Yes, let us get back to the seam.
It's called a natural harvest.
Kill that
goddammit.
one before we start making people uncomfortable
But
again.
no, what I was going to say is, Alpha, can I just confirm something? Is it correct that you live not far from, like, where, the area that Midsommar was based in?
Yeah, I actually was there last midsummer in that exact province. That was when the movie had actually just released, I think. So that was interesting.
Did you get sewn into a bear costume?
Alpha, can you confirm or confirm or deny about the Swedish death sex cult?
No.
Thought we were off this.
Can anybody hear me? Am I here now?
And we're
Oh,
back.
yeah. Hello.
Yes, you are.
Yes, hello.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. The laptop's still losing its mind, but I guess I'm back.
To be
It
fair,
wouldn't
I
be a
don't think you
podcast
shut your
without
laptop.
some technological issues.
But yeah, I want to hear about
Oh,
the Swedish death cult.
See, the biggest thing I want to know is Alphabusa Nuzlocke when? I need it.
What is it, like a Pokemon, but it's just all of different. It's just Alpha's collection of chickens.
'Twas not you.
At least
who slapped-
150.
Was
At least
not you
150
who
different
slapped the
types of
Rapidash.
Switch Nuzlocke when?
No, yeah. So basically, it's just alpha, but all of his Pokemon are Blaziken, right? That's
Well, there's more than one chicken.
And
in Pokemon.
execute.
Okay, hey Alpha, you remember that one time you were gonna make like a web comic on DeviantArt, and it was like I was gonna be your Pokemon rival, and you were the Pokemon. trainer?
Yeah,
Stupid.
it's still kind of up. I wonder if that is super bad. I don't.
Is this?
Let's see if I
I'm,
need.
I'm sorry, but I'm literally
kill that
picturing
idea.
Tails gets trolled.
Oh my
God.
So, first time in 500 years.
Speaking of that, that's actually me, White.
I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore.
It's
Does
Tails
anyone?
Tails gets trolled. It's unironically fucking fantastic.
I know.
I want to read it. I want to read it so bad. I've been told by people who have read it that I shouldn't though, and I get mixed messages.
It's amazingly bad.
It's one of those incredibly blessed. It is the original Blurst. It is simultaneously horrible and incredible, and you've exists in that incredibly weird part of internet where you don't know if it's legitimate or not. but it's
Okay,
an experience.
like,
I live for that.
My theory is it started off as legitimate, but then he started become more and more self-aware and was like, oh, fuck it, I'm just gonna tell a story. And then it evolved from there, and now it's fucking bonkers. And
It
the
is
main villain-
me, King of the Trolls. I
And
hid
now the
under a
main-
bridge calling people a bitch.
I
And
have
now-
returned
and now-
from chaos. Help!
And now the
I
main
am back
villain
from
is Chester Cheetah, who is a drug lord.
Yeah, like,
It's
within this-
sounding
within
like
this
the
apparatus,
character arc of Squirrel King, who wrote Half-Life: Full Life Consequences.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but that's it. Within
I
it, you
fell
have,
out of
like,
the thing and
actual
landed
character
on
arc.
dead people's hands.
Well,
Hey, you know what was wild? All of those weird
What's wild?
MLP fanfics that came out like back in 2012, where there's like the Rainbow Factory, where secretly ponies get ground up, and that's how rainbows are made.
Wow. Yeah,
Reminds
the
me
kind
of
of thing, like,
What?
it started,
And then
it
people
started
made
as a
fan
joke.
songs about it.
Yeah, it started as a joke with stuff like cupcakes, but then people started taking it really seriously. So it started like the
Edge
line
quest.
started to get blurred between what was people just screwing around like with cupcakes and what was people actually being like, yeah, I want My Little Pony to be edgy and dark.
That's
I
quite
can beat
literally the
that.
story of basically every internet fandom. Where it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we're joking,
Yeah.
and then
Rainbow
arrived
Dash
a
was
bunch of people
apparently
who
the
aren't.
head scientist, and she was sacrificing the young failures of the flying exams to become basically to get their essence extracted out of them painfully, so that they could make rainbows.
I'm gonna deafen myself until this absolute nightmare hell of a
I
conversation is over.
think that it is now over by decree of, hey, what else the fuck do we have to talk about now?
I was just going to say, I can't wait till Tactica has to come up with the show notes for this episode.
So on a 40k related note, that Underhives game got thinged on Steam, and it don't look too good.
It is, wait, what do you mean it doesn't look good?
What do you mean
Yeah,
it doesn't
look
look
like it's well, it's supposed to be out this summer. Like
Necromunda
its
Drive.
release date was summer 2020, and there is no gameplay footage. There's
it's
the
equivalent
teaser
to
trailer.
Halo Infinite.
All the screenshots are just scenes from the teaser trailer. There's fucking nothing.
Well, that's
And
not
it's-
that's not anything new.
And
Has
it's
anyone
asking for
played Gladius?
30 quid with a discount.
Oh,
Alright,
hang
has-
on, hang on.
Well,
Here's a question for you. Have you played the Mordheim game?
Oh yeah,
I've played more times than City of the Damned.
Yeah, expect it just to be a reskin of that, because that's what I'm expecting. It's the same company.
I mean, in fairness,
They're just doing
Mordheim
the
and,
basic-
and Necromunda are basically the same game, but
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
but
no.
Mordheim is asking for a reasonable £5. That
Because
game
they
is
got
asking
released
for
several years ago.
okay,
yeah.
Thunder, not Thunder. White, I'm just gonna fucking ask you this: what the fuck is a quid?
It's a pound.
£1.
Yeah.
Why do you call it a quid then?
It's an
I mean about it, like a buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A dollar, moolah.
Yeah,
Oh my god, why do you call it a buck?
I don't
Because
call it
you sound.
I don't call it a buck because I am not uncivilized.
Oh,
Right.
my name is
20
Fresh,
bucks,
and I
duh.
call dollars simoleons. I'm so clever.
We must appreciate
I
that Fresh
could really
asked
go for a
Another
Somali right
load into
now.
my bank account. I'd fucking do it every day. All right.
This is fucking a
I'm pretty
bizarre
hungry.
attack.
I could eat a
This is what-
Somali right now.
This is
we
definitely
have to
Sims.
appreciate that Fresh asked what the hell is a quid, and then the chat just got drowned out with angry British noises.
The etymology of the word quid.
good.
So,
Actually,
yeah.
I'm
You can
glad that I managed
Hey,
to strike back
you
at the
can- you-
colonials.
But hold on, you can
Wow.
listen. You can make fun of our hobbies. You can make fun of our weather. You can
Yes.
make fun of our food. But if you
Yes.
fucking come after our quid, I swear on my fucking mum, I'll toss you into the River Thames and fucking
You've got
get
the
the
accent wrong.
goddamn.
Wait,
There,
why
but
is
then
it
you
squid?
down the
Is
rabbit
it
hole.
related
hey,
to squid?
Oi, here's
I actually
here's
used
my
to think it
response,
was
mate.
related to squids when I was
Fuck
a
off,
kid.
you nonce.
Okay, so
you listen here, right?
The most
You
British
listen-
thing you've ever said.
there's something incredibly
Yeah.
relevant to this particular thing,
What is
Which
it?
is
which is the note from Good Omens that states that 1 shilling equals 5p, 2 farthings is 1 halfpenny, 2 halfpennies is 1 penny, 3 pennies is a threepenny bit, 2 threepences is 6pence, 2 sixpences is 1 shilling or bob, 2 bob equals a florin, 1 florin and 6pence is half a crown, 4 half crowns is a 10 bob note, 2 10 bob notes equals £1 or 240 pennies, £1 and 1 shilling equals 1 guinea. It is noted that the British resisted decimalized currency for the longest time because they thought it would be too complicated.
I'm gonna be honest with you, my brain shut off.
The imperial system against the metric system.
So two things. One, I will say that Snipe's attack on my character in terms of monetary vernacular is one of the top 3 most bizarre attacks on my character I've ever
Was
experienced.
the other 2 by me as well?
Now,
Fresh.
the
I think what
second
they're
thing-
saying is that your vocabulary for currency is poor.
Well, they can fuck right off. They can fuck right off the edge of my dick. My second point is I had to learn the British conversion of currency to properly play Warhammer Fantasy roleplay.
Okay, first issue, why are you learning how to play Warhammer Fantasy?
Well, for one thing, motherfucker, I like Warhammer Fantasy roleplay very, very much. Secondly, it's because the currency is pennies, shillings, and then crowns.
Okay, like, no, everyone thinks that shit, so... And as an Australian, I'm allowed to just sit here and just be angry at America and the English.
What the fuck did I do, motherfucker?
We didn't do anything!
I can get angry.
No bullying.
And everyone who isn't from an English-speaking country is there like, yay!
We could be angry at the Australians for kicking us shit at cricket every other year.
Yeah, well, maybe I should be angry at you for making it too fucking easy.
War against emus.
I'm still not sure that Finland is an actual country and that Helsinki isn't populated by actors.
You do realize I'm just a fish that the Japanese are going to, fish out of this water at some point, according to some statistics.
Look, I'm gonna have to say it, and you're all gonna think I'm fucking crazy. But about 7 years ago, I did go to Finland. I have pictures. It is real. And it is
No,
green
it's like the
island.
moon. The
Like,
moon
Thunder
is
is
a
a
lie.
pe-
Stop lying to us.
It's the quantum moon!
Thunder is paid. He is a
paid actor.
Listen, the money that Very
No, he's
gives
a
me to
government
prove that
agent.
He's, a
He's lying
member
to
of the
us.
TTS
Which
cast.
government?
All
Finland
of
is
them.
real.
It's all
You know,
government.
I'll have you know I'm dating 1/4 of Finland's population.
That is a lie.
You're dating an actor paid by the government to
You're
protect
dating
the
fish.
I don't know if
Stop
Lemon
dating
counts
fish,
as a
you
person.
weirdo.
Yes, he does.
So does this mean that the Finnish people are the Idoneth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Entirely.
I have a very,
You are moist elves.
just to loop it back to bad
Please don't use the
See, this is like my fucking thing, right? Okay, so the Warhammer Gamers Workshop fucking made Norska like the Scandinavian area, right? But from everything I am hearing, they should be the Wood Elves. That should be where the Wood Elves live because you're all fucking mysterious.
Is it Norska?
Wait, you can't be a wood elf in the water.
Yes.
You can be a wade elf.
I'm the wood elf,
I
basically
mean,
the road.
No,
Isn't
wood
that what
elves
the
can totally
water
be in
kin,
water. They
fish
just float.
kin-
You could be a mangrove elf. They are like sitting around with their dicks in water all day.
The entire legitimate. That makes
Oh my
water.
god.
Idoneth
Guys.
conversion idea.
People from Florida are swamp elves.
I live in Florida.
That's a cool army idea.
Yes,
Idoneth
the
deep in.
ancient Florida man.
They speak
And
with
their
armpit
Flat
farts.
Friday.
God. Just like third grade all over again.
Yeah, exactly.
But the Ninja
Hey,
Turtles, they were
hey,
awesome.
Alpha.
When are we gonna do Eternal Crusade videos again?
Hey, Alpha.
Oh.
Hey, Alpha, do you want me to reveal the fact that you and I were like part of the first 100 people to fund that fucking game?
Oh, no way.
I'm so embarrassed, Alpha. I thought you said Turtle Crusade, and I was like,
I mean,
fuck
I
yeah.
thought so too. I heard
Everyone
turtle.
seems to know what that is, and I feel left out. So maybe it's to do with the Ninja Turtles.
Biodomes everywhere.
Not that good.
What is that?
Snipe, I'm more on board for Turtle Crusade.
The worst part about that fucking game is that I paid $40 good for that game, and then 2 months later it went free to play, and I was so mad.
You paid 40 quid for it, yeah.
40. Only 40?
How much did you pay Alpha?
Hey,
Me and
you know what?
Alpha.
You know what?
Me and
$40 was worth it watching Alpha shout "Follow me," and then he got immediately run over by a tank.
Oh no. This is real facts. This is real fact stories. Me and Alpha fucking like back in the day when that was still like, oh hey, give us donations so that we can like make this game what we want it to be. Me and Alpha fucking like got the highest donation tier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I recruited a fuckload of people to that.
Back in the Alpha Legion days, because like they ate your shit up.
Because I was like, okay, this is actually gonna be like a really good game because it was fun at the time. It was fun to play, but it was very rough and janky, but it was still fun.
Yeah, it was an alpha. It's like, okay, yeah, it's acceptable that this is.
And there was all the roadmap and stuff, and it all looked pretty like promising potentially, and I wanted to believe, but then my innocence was ruined forever.
I remember Alpha when you and I were in the Zoran stream for the day one release of that, and we were just like, yeah, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be fun, and then like we got 2 hours in, and we were just like, this game fucking sucks, and we're morons.
Yeah,
Quick thing. I just tried to go onto the Eternal Crusade website, and this connection is not private.
Is it a porn website?
I don't know. Like it is telling me to go back to a safe web space. Like this.
So it's a porn website. They sold it
off.
off.
Should I go in, or is that
Yes,
like
you
a
can go in. Go further. Do it for us.
Should I go in?
Sacrifice yourself.
I'll go in and what? I was redirected.
Directed to like porn.com.
We really redirected to porn.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Okay, it still looks the same. It still looks the same.
Yeah, but now there's like someone standing behind you ready to like punch you in the back of the head.
You see, I do remember a while ago, I got like a message from someone who was really earnestly trying to like bring back Eternal Crusade to like to be like, no, we want to try and get a community going.
That
And
is
I was
really sweet.
and I just had to respond, I'm sorry. We think it's terrible. We can't help you.
Got that on the Facebook as well. Somebody was like, "Look, there's still some of us here, and the game's gotten a little better." And I played twice, and the second time I played, I sat there trying to connect, and I was connecting for so long that the minute I finally got in, the game booted me for being idle.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that was the majority of trying to play that game. I remember half of the time. Trying to get into a match with somebody was, oh, we're in. Oh, one of us is out. Oh, we're all in. Oh, someone else is out.
Shake it all about. You do the whole.
I mean, what I will say is, in a similar vein, I'm also having a look at the Eternal Crusade forums, and I'm getting a couple things from this because it's reminding me. For one, people are still posting on it this year, and looking at all the topics and everything. It reminds me a little bit too much of the Alpha Legion forum, and to make put the icing on the cake, the most recent post was on the role-playing section, which was on Tuesday. So I'm really getting the Alpha Legion feeling from this place.
Oh my god, no! Alpha, do you remember the time me and you went on the fucking the Alpha Legion forum and we found there were people still posting like years later?
Yeah. Very interesting experience.
Like the forum was dead. There's no admins. There's no management. People are still posting.
Is it just like it feels like you would go there and it would just be like 47 porn box?
Just for quick context, the Alpha
spamming each
Legion
other.
was like an old community that we had when we were young. So that's
That people
It
are
was our dumb stupid friends.
It was the proto collection of people where Alpha was slowly nursing together a bunch of semi-talented people so that he could make them a little more talented, so that he could do text to speech. No, the reality is like pretty much nearly everybody from that group of people has become involved with text to speech in some way, shape, or form. I still want to get Clinton involved, but you keep telling me no.
Remember,
No means no, dearie.
Bill Clinton?
No.
Yeah, the very same.
Also,
hold on. Like the Alpha Legion.
Sorry to interrupt you on this, but I just found my payments page on Eternal Crusade to see exactly how.
Oh no!
How much did you pay?
What is your shame?
Much? Why? Oh no!
Come on.
Word it in
How many
Ameribox so that the dumb Americans can understand.
I think this might be too embarrassing to leak.
Come on, you have to now.
It's too late. You gotta say it, Alpha.
Yeah.
Alpha, if I join you with this, will you take that plunge with me?
Okay, it says cancelled here, so that was good. I thought it was more than it was. Yeah, $264. What the fuck?
Okay,
fucking ran away with that.
That is also the amount of money I donated.
So much like chocolate with that.
At least it's not Star Citizen.
And you want to know, you want to know the most painful thing? The one
Paying
thing that
money.
I was super dedicated to is, since I was actually legitimately hyped for this game, one thing I was really, really amping up was the referral thing. Because when you were referring people, the more people you were referring, the more like potential things you would get out of it. And I got over 1,000 referrals, which means I reached the Arc Cardinal Primus level, I think. No, the Arc Cardinal Superior level.
He was the big dick
which means I would have actually, like, if this had actually, like, I don't know, like they owe me. Okay, so this is they owe me an Arc Cardinal Superior armor set for each faction. I have not gotten this. Where is my Arc Cardinal Superior armor set? Eternal Crusade.
Where's your 4
The game is
3D
dead.
models?
What do you expect?
Where the
You know what,
fuck?
Alpha, I get the impression.
You can't take armor from a corpse, Alpha. It's dead.
I get the impression that a certain member of the Crimson Dragon Blades also probably donated a similar amount, and I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen a video from that particular.
No, he's still dedicated. Still
blazing.
Yeah,
He's still playing. He's still playing.
Member of the community.
I'm pretty sure I've seen him on the
He's gonna
forum
release a
post that he
Let's Play.
wants the 6th Marine faction to be the Dragon Blades.
Yeah, he's gonna release a Let's Play soon of Eternal Crusade.
Oh, that'd be great.
Stop.
How can you even let's play that? It's not like a full game.
Oh,
It's like,
Okay,
No,
you
you
want to
know-
fucking know why we
Better.
donated so fucking much to this fucking shitty fucking
Because you wanted
game?
it to be good.
We
Because you
wanted
didn't
to-
realize
yeah.
it was kind of a
Yeah.
scam.
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. Here's a few things for context. So, what Eternal Crusade promised at first, and this is where that's where the fun begins, Sonya.
The actual
It promised a full open world. It promised a full open world in the 40K setting for one thing.
Didn't get that.
Didn't get that. It promised PvE content and quests and whatnot. And World
Didn't get
PvE
that.
didn't get that. It
Kind of
promised
about that.
each
You got
faction within a faction, the sub-factions, if you would have unique buffs, equipment, and iconography. Didn't get that.
No.
It promised a shifting battlefield that would it would be like PlanetSide 2 essentially, and that didn't get that.
So it basically pulled a No Man's Sky, but unlike No Man's Sky that actually fixed what it did, this one just kind of threw up its arms and gave up.
Got
Yeah,
worse.
yeah. And also, the thing is that it wasn't only them promising things. They were a lot of
showing
the
video.
people who
They were
worked on
showing
it,
progress.
they were really dedicated to being very transparent. All the time they were like, we're going to be very, very transparent and show you exactly what we want to do, and we're going to show you all the time the progress we're making, so you know where your money is going to. And it looked really, really good because they were very transparent about it, and it was.
Yeah, but that sounds like they're trying to promise like a Destiny 2, but they clearly didn't have the ability to do that.
I have
They
a question
should-
about that actually.
Yes.
But weren't they very blatantly fucked over by their publisher for that? Or
Yes.
whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. They were
they were,
transparent for a long time until suddenly they weren't. And then suddenly it was like, oh
They
yeah,
were
you remember
wrong.
when we said we were actually going to put the game out? Funny story, it's out now.
Yeah,
also-
that
They
sounds
were
like
pushed-
publisher
they were
meddling.
pushed out super quick,
Yeah.
and they got a new publisher. I remember. It was, I think it even was like Bandai Namco or something.
Yeah, they
Uh,
were gonna they were gonna be with Square Enix, and it was around E3 of one of those early years that was kind of shown. But then when they mysteriously got pulled from Square Enix's E3 lineup, then it became apparent that they got a different publisher instead, with I think Bandai Namco, like you said.
Wasn't that when Square Enix
then they were
freaked the fuck out and dropped
pushed
a
out
load
real
of people, hard?
Might have been.
They dropped a
Were
lot
pushed
of
out super quick. Yeah, it was Bandai Namco. I saw a forum thread right here, right now. Oh god,
I mean,
broken
was
forum
Square
thread.
Enix struggling at the time or something, so they couldn't really support other
It was
people or something like that?
2015. They were still losing money off of making
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. So they basically shed everything else because they couldn't support it.
Yeah. The only thing
Can you imagine if they like actually did though?
Sorry, I just remembered.
What?
Maybe we let Nos talk, and then Ava keep seeing.
Sorry.
White's girlfriend. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. And then Zek.
Oh no, mostly I was just gonna say that that was about the time that pretty much the only thing they had going for them was Final Fantasy 14, and most of their projects were all going to like B teams.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were in a really bad spot.
We got the quiet man.
Okay, you now.
You now? Me now?
I
Yes,
already,
you, Neve.
I've already said.
It's just Neve. Just call me Neve.
Neve. Okay, fine, I'll call you Neve.
Thank you. No, all I was saying was it wasn't Final Fantasy 15. It was Final Fantasy 14 that they got fucked over with the MMO.
No, they didn't.
No, that was after they'd already after they'd totally retooled 14, and they were making a lot of their money back. They'd lost a lot of money in the production of 15 because it took a decade, and then again they pushed the production of Kingdom Hearts 3 to a B team. A lot of their stuff was they dropped a lot of. I think they're the ones that own IDOS, right? I think they dropped a lot of their IDOS material.
Yeah.
They were just really bad.
Okay.
Wow, okay, because I remember that initially when it was released, 14 was a massive flop.
Yeah, but that was back in that problem was mostly in the early 2010s.
Yeah, now it's the reason why Square Enix is still going.
Okay, now Zegrum, what do you have to say?
I was gonna say, could you imagine if they did pick up Eternal Crusade though, and then they had to do crossover shit, and so Final Fantasy 15 comes out, and it's just get Space Marine power armor for Noctis.
I would fucking adore
Or
if a fucking Space Marine makes a cameo like goddamn Cloud and Squall did in Kingdom Hearts.
Like a fucking crossover event for 14 where it's help Warrior of Light, there's a demon, and you go and it's a fucking bloodthirster.
You get a mouth that's a fucking Beyblade.
I totally want a little squid pet to follow me around. Squig, sorry. Imagine
Unironically,
that.
how would you, as the Warrior of Light, deal with a fucking bloodthirster? Sure, yeah, you can fight Zodiac, but at the same time, that's a bloodthirster.
It's a baby bloodthirster. Don't mind it.
You fight it with 7 to 24 people.
And
yeah.
Yeah, you fight it with 24 other Warriors of Light.
Here fighting, goddamn Space Marine would be fucking hilarious.
I mean, when you think about it, the Warrior of Light, the difference between a bloodthirster and the Warrior of Light is the Warrior of Light's wearing more clothes.
Okay, but anyway, now we can get back to the chaos. So yeah, fuck Eternal Crusade. It stole my fucking money. It broke my dreams, and it promised me the content. You know what I was gonna do? I was just gonna be a chaos sorcerer, following Alpha around and shooting doom bolts at him.
Does anybody remember the promising game afterwards?
Yes, I do, and I am sad.
I wanted some melee thing. Hey, I got a funny question about Warhammer 40k in video games. How come every time they put melee in their games, it fucking sucks?
Yes.
Because the people that make the game,
I quite enjoyed Space Marines melee.
I will stop with the towel jokes now.
I mean,
Space Marines melee was good, but also not really.
Yeah, Space Marines.
Yeah. Mechanicus music's great.
Mechanicus is the shit.
In
I'll shill it
general,
forever.
I actually I stayed up really late last night playing it to because I'm resetting my sleep schedule, and Jesus, I'm having such a good time with it.
Mechanicus is
It's
great.
so good though. It's
A few of the Mechanicus devs have ended up actually watching the stream that we do for Dark Heresy, and that's been really fun.
Oh, that's
so legit. Going back to the original question of why melee combat in 40k games is bad. Wouldn't it be cool to have a Mordhau clone that was 40k based?
Yeah.
Or Sigma based? That would be better probably. It'd make more sense.
I mean,
melee isn't that bad, is it?
I don't even
like
mean in the fucking help me out here. Not in oh hey, it's just really shallow. It's just it doesn't work half the time.
What?
If you want the absolute best Warhammer video game melee, you want to play Manowar Corsair.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up.
Oh my
Don't
god.
mention that cursed king.
Ooh. Is it okay?
You're
What
gonna
is
set up a
Manowar
whole new
Corsair?
generation of people.
Oh
You're
my
just tricking them.
God.
How could you?
I've
Yeah,
seen it.
Manowar Corsair is obviously based on the old Manowar game, and it's trying to be one of those sort of like open world where you sort of decide what you want to do, and you get a boat and you go and do trade, or you go and fight people. But every single level of it, like it feels, and it was only released a few years ago, but it feels like one of those games that was released in like 2004, but they couldn't port to consoles because the controls were too complicated. It's just it is like looking at what would it be if Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines was shit. It's like, so I played a bit of it, and I tried out one of the Chaos factions. So I thought I'll play a Slaneshi pirate and just open it up, and it started with my character looking at the mast, because the place where you had the helm was behind things, so you couldn't see anything. And every time I moved the camera slightly, it would glitch out and fly through things. And I was like, this is how the game started, was functionally unplayable.
Web, I tuned into your stream of that game, and it was a genuinely sad experience.
Okay,
Yeah.
Web, I have a.
Are you sure you didn't accidentally open up Raven's Cry?
It's worse.
Okay, so my buddy Mitch, he fucking bought Manowar. He tries to play it regularly, and he knows it's bad. He knows it's shit, and I keep asking him every single time he plays. Every time I see him on Steam, and he plays that game, I'm just like, why are you doing this? Why would you punish yourself like this? And he always says, because I don't want it to beat me.
Now, I will be honest, that is the exact
like a
reason.
spite.
That is the exact reason that I beat both Duke Nukem Forever and Aliens Colonial Marines.
You
Not
need-
because I wanted to,
You know what
but
you need to do now? Beat Daikatana.
That's
And
difficult. Now, with that logic, that also means that Fresh and I have to finish Warhammer Chaos Bane.
Oh, fuck off!
I shall finish Storm of Vengeance.
Clearly, we all.
That reaction was visceral.
Oh, fuck off with Chaos Bane.
Anyone for Battletoads?
Oh yeah.
Hey, Battletoads is fun. Shut up.
I'd fucking play Battletoads over Chaos Bane. Are you fucking nuts?
It's a May. You have to like it.
no, legit,
I
Battletoads
mean-
is way better than Chaos Bane.
No, it is. It is.
Yeah, it is. I played it on
Okay.
I
Snipe,
played it
have
in
you
arcade.
okay,
The arcade version's fun.
okay. Snipe, have you played
Yes.
Chaos Bane?
Yes. Yeah, it's the one you've tried to play on stream multiple times, then get to the first boss and then give up.
It
Get
fucking
really
sucks, doesn't it? It fucking sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It fucking sucks, doesn't it? You wanna know
It
why?
sucks almost as bad as your grip on English currency.
Yo,
You know what? You go
Damn
fuck.
give us
You can fuck off, right? Fuck you. That's it. Yeah, just wow. That's it. That's it. Fuck you.
That sure showed them.
I'm gonna throw our Atlantic partners a bone here and say, in all fairness, we sometimes call our money something stupid like bob and quid and things like that. And the fact that most of the notes are now made out of plastic, we made it up. We made our own money up and acted like it was real.
Yeah, I mean that's
It's
just
fake
money in general.
No, that's what money is.
That's what money is.
It's
It's
a
just
societal
fake
concept
bullshit.
everybody
Okay.
agrees on.
Yeah.
It's
you know what?
it's
Fuck
paper and plastic and
That's
metal.
it.
It has no worth.
You know what? Yeah, fuck
The
it. That's
economy's
it.
made up
Nothing,
in the
nothing
current
fancy.
currency.
Nothing.
Humans
No,
one day
no
went out
dancing
and left
around it.
shiny rocks.
Wait.
looking around
I
them.
do have to
shall
ask
trade you
though,
with this.
because I've always wanted to know. Oculus, you live in Canada.
I do.
Do
I,
they?
do live,
does-
I live in the north.
you live in the North, TM. Does that like money really smell like maple syrup?
No, it
What?
doesn't. But it is plastic, and it was plastic before a lot of other things. was
Australian
plastic.
money was plastic for a very long time. Also, Oculus. Oh my god. I'm like the Long Dark has an event on where it's called like Winter Endurance or something, where basically it's a modified game mode that's really difficult. But because it was Canada Day on the 1st of July, they put in a jug of maple syrup you can just drink. and
Don't you
ketchup
mean-
flavored potato chips.
Don't you
Okay,
mean they
oh,
pour
okay, no,
me
no.
a jug
It has-
of maple syrup?
I need to say
I don't
something
get
on behalf of any Canadians, my adopted home, is that ketchup chips are actually really good.
They sound super good. It's like
They
it's
do.
like,
No, they are good.
We did have them here for a while.
Yeah, we had them here for a
Ketchup,
little bit.
ketchup chips and all dressed chips are Canada's sterling contributions to
Surely.
the potato chip / crisp thing. To the extent
Surely.
that Canadians who have to go down to Buffalo across the border to see the Blue Jays play will often complain that there are no all dressed chips in that shithole of a city.
What is it all? What's all dressed chips? Explain.
I think. Hang on. I'm literally going to have to come up like they
tasted them.
They
They
taste.
are freaking
Can you do
good.
it within 15 minutes? Because we're starting to head toward 2 hours.
All dressed chips is a flavor of chip that combine barbecue, ketchup, sour cream, onion, and salt and vinegar. It is
Okay, I'm going to
so
stop you, Oculus.
I want it.
I'm pretty
I want it.
sure.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure the Australians had one called the Full Monty, where they basically just made that, and it was literally the best fucking flavor in the world.
Sounds like sounds like the equivalent of mixing all of the soda in the soda machine when I was a kid.
But that tastes like a brain hemorrhage. But like this is like good.
Basically, those crisps taste like Friday evening when you're absolutely hammered and you go to the grill like,
Oh, God,
sure,
yes.
that one.
So
And
the
they give you
greasiest,
everything
most
with all the
disgusting
spices.
fucking thing.
Just you guys describing it, I can feel my tongue turning raw.
Oh,
I want it so bad.
So, like, a
That's the
couple
beauty
years
of it.
ago, Walker's, which is like one of the biggest crisp brands here in Britain.
Lay's in the United
Lay's.
States.
Yeah,
Lay's in
Lay's.
Australia.
It's basically Lay's, yeah. They did this thing where they were like changing up the flavors, or you had to like vote on a flavor, and people had to write.
Yeah,
down
bloody
what
flavor. Squirt, like Cajun squirrel was my favorite. That fucking
Cajun
box.
squirrel was
amazing.
There was,
I was just going to say that if anyone would like to actually sample all dressed chips, you send me your address and I will email.
Oculus.
Hell yes, email
I
me.
need those chips.
I will
want the
typically
chips.
email
Trying to,
you
like,
these potato chips.
Don't
and
tempt
hopefully
me.
it'll
I
be
literally have
good.
asked
Oculus,
people to send me food from
I'll
their
do
home.
that in exchange. I will send you the forbidden recipe for a toast sandwich.
What I want to
I'll
know
tell you.
is a toast
I am Irish, so a
sandwich.
toast
I'm gonna
sandwich
beat
has
you with
been
a toaster.
sampled.
Yes, Nos.
But-
What I want to know is, when is Lay's bringing? Speaking of the do us a flavor thing, why did Lay's stop doing the cheesy garlic bread flavor?
Right? Cheesy garlic bread is so good.
It
God,
was
that
the
sounds
first
so
winner.
nice.
It was the absolute best. It was incredible. It was
sounds
the
so
best
good.
chip. It
You know
was
what I
incredible,
love?
and it was like, oh my god, it's going to be permanent. This is going to be great. I will buy these forever. And then once they started doing the second do us a flavor, gone.
That sucks
yeah, it's
so
a temporary
bad.
thing.
It's like they did that with lamb and mint.
It was so
flavored
good.
bread. So good.
Welcome to the
Oh.
Warhammer 40k fandom, where we discuss the flavor of snacks.
I mean,
you
I've been
guys don't-
plugging
you-
since about
I don't know
episode
about you guys, I
90.
don't mean to
that
sound
this-
like a fucking weeb, but Japan has some pretty wild snacks.
You know what? You guys have
This is
never
about
clearly
episode-
don't live near Mexico, where they have the best snacks. Walking tacos.
Oh my god.
What?
It's a bag of Fritos, and you put everything that you would put in a taco, like ground beef, like cheese, the lettuce, tomato stuff.
The funny
Oh,
thing about
they're like fried tortilla strips, really, really
Yeah.
tiny and like deep fried. They don't taste good by themselves; they're utter crap. But
Oh, yeah.
when you mix it with that or Doritos, that's
Yeah.
great.
Fuck
That's
yeah,
the funny
Doritos.
thing, like
Walking
when
tacos.
walking
Lots
tacos
of
became like
raw.
walking tacos became a fad like a couple of years ago. I was sitting there like, wait, people are just figuring out about these now. We had these like for lunch in elementary school, and I used
Yeah, no, it's like a Mexican thing.
Do you know what I fucking had for lunch in elementary school? I had fucking like, this is a shepherd's pie. No, it's not. It's a thin layer of what I can only assume is horse semen and cement.
Yes.
And gravel.
You know what's better? You were eating tasty turkey twizzlers and you were like, yeah, this is probably made out of
turkey
crap and I
twizzlers
don't
with the
care.
tits,
And then
man.
that
Okay,
douchebag comes
okay.
in and it turns to garbage.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
disgusting.
What the fuck is a
fucking
turkey
pie.
Twizzler?
Was it
Turkey Twizzler. It's like it's not turkey.
Is that a sex position?
Yes.
Oh my god!
for doing it.
Barbecue sauce.
Can you
in a
fucking imagine?
twizzle, and it was the best.
I love how the fact that, again, we just had another cacophony of British people trying to explain something that Fresh is not.
Okay.
No. I think like turkey Twizzler, like Fred said, it does sound like a sex position because you can imagine some guy from like fucking like a real gruff area in the UK going, "Oh yeah, I went home to my wife Deborah, and we had a big shag, and we did a bit of a turkey Twizzler, the dirty bitch."
I can imagine that being
like
said.
It looks like
it
a
sounds
pig
like
in
a
a blanket.
custom. It sounds like a custom name for some dumbass like jocks like cunnilingus technique.
Oh,
Okay.
Call this the turkey
And then I gave
Twizzler.
it the, he tells the girl the name of it before he does it.
That's straight out of like 50 Shades of Grey.
My
I
inner
posted an
goddess
image of
screams
it.
that he was doing
kids.
turkey
I was
Twizzlers.
really thinking like the candy Twizzlers, but like turkey flavored.
Hey kids, if you
That would
want
be
to
better.
like, hey kids, if you have like a girl you want to sleep with and like she's ready to do it, say
Fresh,
turkey Twizzler
fresh.
to see like the fucking Sahara happen in front of you. Okay.
Like, of all the things I expected to happen, I did not expect to be this bulk sense of Frederick. Of all the people, I beat over the top of. I did
I'm
not
gonna love the
expect
fact
it
that this
to be
episode
Frederick.
is just gonna be like actual
Yeah,
sensor beep noises
You
for half of it.
motherfuckers, all y'all motherfuckers thought it was gonna be me being dirty, but it was Frederick. He's the
I mean,
one
to
who
be
took
fair,
that
ever
fucking
since
message.
No,
I
see,
think
here's the
since
thing.
1991, I've been hyping this show as a massive cluster flip. So anything other than a cluster flip, where the fact the word Ian Watson has been mentioned 4 times in the entire show, I'm absolutely stunned.
Well, we burnt out
You're
Ian
out of
Watson.
time, so you're not going to get a chance to see it.
Quickly, we must get it in now. Ian Watson,
Everything
Ian
I
Watson,
didn't
Ian Watson.
Episode as basically an Ian Watson novel.
Yeah,
I was hyping this up as
We
the
have
Ian Watson
we have subverted
Appreciation Hour, and you
everyone's
haven't had a chance.
expectations.
Yeah, we
Also,
had an actual
I'm-
discussion for 20 minutes about gameplay and tactics and things like that.
Yeah.
We hyped this as a 2-hour
Tack.
clusterfuck, and it's
Good.
gone well.
We can rein this back in. We can take
My
it back.
God, he
to-
just dropped an
to-
F-bomb.
We
Another
can
one run.
we can take this back to what you want it to be, and I'm going to propose something. I'm going to propose. All right, fuck, marry, and kill. I need 3 characters.
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
Turkey
Frank
Twizzlers.
Melinda
Turkey Twizzlers.
In the
Cool Ranch
4K
Cheetos.
universe.
Okay, so
Agent 47.
Long Vec.
Okay,
What,
so
wide Araman long vect and turkey Twizzlers? That's what we fucking have.
Hey, don't forget walking tacos.
Yeah, walking tacos as well.
Walking tacos
Come
is the
on.
wild
I
card.
also said curd. Curd was in there.
okay.
Conrad
Class of
Curd
luck,
is my
class of
walking
luck, yes.
taco.
What the fuck does that mean?
I want to put my mouth
yeah.
on him.
What?
I don't know.
Sorry. You know, the audio's glitching out, so I'm hearing some weird shit.
Oh my god, Remlays, you can post Battenberg all day and I will just send you telekinetic hate waves.
I think we
Conrad
killed
Curd
Fresh.
is her turkey Twizzler.
Nos, please confirm if Fresh is alive.
We've broken Fresh.
I'm
This is not
sorry
the
I
first
killed
time this has happened.
Fresh.
Holding himself.
He did.
Tackling.
It happens.
Super angry this whole
Fresh,
time.
quick question.
Mhm.
Which part killed you?
Okay, can I talk? It's the fact that I asked. Conrad Curse is my walking taco. It's like, what the fuck does that mean? And Wim is just, and Snipe is just like, I want to put my mouth on him.
We need
that
closed
makes it better.
captions for that. Holy shit.
That's
the
the
first
title.
breakdown we've had on this show, and it only took 100 shows.
Oh my God. I am dying. I have never heard.
I heard Conrad Kerr's dog walk
So if I want him to be a walking taco because, Fresh said why, and I was like, because I want to put my mouth on him, and then it literally destroyed his universe.
I will be honest. I am very, very proud, very, very proud of Fresh because it's true. You have not been the source of tension. And I think you should be very proud of that.
Tension? What does that mean?
There's no everyone else was derailed and started talking
There's
about
intense sexual tension here.
Yeah, I'm talking about weird.
I'm
talking about making it weird sex shit that's going to make Tack smack his head on the desk.
Do you fucking know
There it goes.
how much? Do you know?
There it goes.
Okay, look. I wanted to do that. Okay, I wanted to be the guy. I wanted to do my bits, right? I wanted to do my bits about bits. But here's the thing. Frederick is more of a
no one
sex
expected
pervert
this from
than I
Frederick.
expected because he's Frederick. He's respectable. He's got an avatar of just an owl, a mysterious owl.
He's a
Owls are
wise,
wise,
man.
and his fucking art for his fucking podcast that he does with some Bostonian is he's a respectable guy. He's a smoker's jacket on. He's got an ascot. He looks like a nice, respectable guy. Meanwhile, I'm here with Ruber as my Discord avatar with Bride, and I wanted to unleash the beast so that we could have a sexual pizza feast in the podcast. And then Wib and Frederick and
I think you mean
I haven't even talked about baby.
Shut up your fuck mouth. And
shut up your face, mother bitch.
Yeah.
This was only ever going to end one way.
Mind blown. Meanwhile, I sat there for 10 minutes trying to discuss the meta of Chaos Space Marine Army and Chaos Demons, and it's what the fuck happened today? Oh, I'm the normal one now. That's a great subversion of expectations. I hate this.
This podcast is chaos. It did everything that was not expected.
Bombshell.
He's trying to end the show.
If you could go back in time, would you really stop me from talking about
Frederick, if I could go back in time, I would talk to you more because now it turns out you and I have more in common than I expected.
Frederick,
I don't have
run.
I don't care where you are in this fucking world. You need to run.
My third eye has been opened.
Go to
Tactica is fully head desking. He is attempting to actually end with this magnificent character arc.
Frederick now.
Fresh, I need you to stop sounding. The third eye opening is bad for you.
I'm going to shit on your desk and smear it with your face.
I'm gonna face on your desk and smear it with your shit.
I'm going to destroy you, tiny baby man.
Baby.
Little baby man.
Fresh is the walking taco.
Okay.
The Frederick
For the love of
Turkey
God.
Twizzler.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck I could do with that.
I think that I have gathered I think I've gathered myself now. I've gathered my soul back into my body.
I haven't.
And I'm going to just say, as a maybe a closing statement of
What do you get to say it?
why the fuck don't you know
He's
what
the protagonist of this podcast. Let him have his bit.
He's the antagonist. I'm the unlikely
I'm going to
anti-hero.
toss you into the Great Barrier Reef. That's what I'm going to say to you, Snipe.
Well, you can't because it's fucking dead. I'm gonna drown you in
I'll
a.
rebuild it, and I will throw you into it.
But no,
Okay.
no, Narita, not Narita. Look at Neve is right. We should all go get drunk on vodka slushies at Warhammer World.
You know what? That's fine. I was gonna be like,
it's brilliant. We found
I was
out.
just gonna-
they do
I
it
was
in
just
a
gonna be
huge,
like-
fishbowl.
Yeah, it's like a fishbowl with a thing. Because we were talking, I was like, "Oh, I love slush puppies," and the bartender was like, "Oh yeah," and he started talking about alcohol, and I was like, "I like vodka slushies sound good," and he was like, I could make you some, and we were like, "Yes."
We all
had one, and I had to finish Scarlet's.
The hot not.
I was going to like ask about like, so Wib, how does it feel to have reached that part of the internet where like weirdos on the internet write fan fiction about your entire life and what you as a person are like, and like that you've and that like you've gotten to that point where people pay attention to you and like they're just going to be like, oh, you know, the usual vernacular that I can't say here because otherwise Tactica is going to fucking throw me into the sun because we're not allowed to talk about that.
To end this for the last 5 minutes.
Each
I-
10,000.
If the audio just cuts out at some
Please, just free us from this death.
You know what? Fuck it. You know what?
Podcast
Agatha,
ended
this
if
is your
Fresh
show.
had decided to stop talking.
I'm done. I'm lying my head down on my desk.
And yes, Fresh, it's very weird, but it's been happening for a long time.
We did it. We broke Fresh. I feel like breaking Fresh is the perfect
Just
note
hearing
to
him
end
go,
this
so,
podcast on.
Honestly,
We need to wrap this up. Guys, wrap it up.
All right, so closing remarks then. Thank you to everyone who has joined us in the call for this episode. I appreciate that not everyone's had a chance to say more than 5 words, and I appreciate that most people have probably stopped listening. But if you've made it this far, congratulations. It has got about, I think for about 90 minutes, it was going pretty much as well as I could have hoped, and then it just... And then once we got past Eternal Crusade, it just...
The turkey twizzlers
Wait.
and it went to shit from there.
Walking taco for a
Wait,
minute.
are you?
Was before Eternal
Were you
Crusade.
hoping that we'd talk about? Was that like your goal?
Frederick! Oh,
That's your invitation.
Frederick, you fuck!
Okay. Okay. You
I'll
know
go to your
what?
country and hit you with a stick.
You know what? I need to like subscribe to everybody's shows and like watch them, and I need to like expand my horizons. I need to watch Warp Time. I need to watch the podcasts. I need to.
Yep.
I already watch Snipe and
too.
Web pretty regularly. They put out good content. Unironically,
watch
I
a
like. I
podcast.
love.
You have
I
to
love
listen to
Snipe
it.
and Web's
my shit.
content. I watch your shit. Okay, look. Unironically, like from a place of heartfelt, like actual human emotion, Snipe and Web do good stuff. Listen to them. I love their stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had the opportunity to talk to them more, but they're like busy, and I'm probably a huge weirdo. Frederick does.
We love you.
Probably.
Frederick Knudsen does good stuff. Watch down the rabbit hole. Kind of wish he didn't use Kiwi Farms, but what can you do? Whatever.
Sometimes that's the only place. You
I
can
know.
find stuff.
Sometimes you gotta grasp at straws, but yeah, Frederick is cool. He's smart. I wish I could talk to him more.
He plays the hurdy-gurdy, and hurdy-gurdy
play the
fucking
hurdy-gurdy.
metal.
I'd like to thank the Academy.
The hurdy-gurdy, like a
Like you say.
like made up.
We have no cats, Kathleen.
Watch
May
Dr.
I?
White.
May I?
Yes, go ahead.
Meow. Meow.
Okay.
Purr.
Yay, we did it.
You did it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Perfect.
Said the
Watch Dr. White's
thing.
stuff. Watch Warp Time Radio. I'm gonna need to watch that probably at some point because I
Warp
don't
Time
know.
You're gonna need to take a nap.
Please do. We're having Carl on tomorrow.
Oh, God.
Okay, so I won't be
Carl
watching that
without me.
one.
I see how it is.
Well, I didn't have the ability to talk to you.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough.
So, yeah.
Watch everybody's shit who's here. Even Anchors does things, I think. I don't know what he's busy. He's probably like building a bunker. And
Oh yeah, no, I actually there's a lot of things I do. Some of them are very illegal.
Stop
So he
doing
is
that.
building a
See,
bunker.
Okay, so a lot of people might be thinking, oh, he smuggles
stream
like
it.
weapons or something, and my brain went, no, he just possesses iron brew and margarine while living in the States. That's what I think.
It's
No, he just
the
makes
facility in Guam. That's the problem.
I am prepared for the anarcho-capitalist state in the afterlife.
That
and
doesn't
this
work.
life.
Clearly, he's cooking things with sheep lung, which is illegal in the United States.
Like, 40k.
Can I like finish?
Anyway.
Yeah, finish up.
Okay, wrapping up like a nice
One
little
thing
roll.
to wrap up then. Since I don't even know if I'm going to survive getting this episode out, thank you to all the previous guests we've had over the past 99 episodes, whether they're here today or not, whether they're from Black Library, people we don't speak to at the moment, or people who've made multiple appearances. In fact, most of those people are here, so fair enough. Thank you to everyone who's supported the podcast. Obviously, I know I'm going to get a little bit soppy, but it's episode 100, sue me. It's been nearly 4 years since we started the show, and basically, I just want to thank Remlays particularly because Rem basically picked out me and Alexis. I'd worked with Rem once. I'd spoken to Rem once. And he decided to say, "Hey, you want to get on a podcast?" And I said yes. And well, here we are 4 years later, nearly. So
I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, you have been the best clock keeper I've ever had because every 2 weeks on a Friday podcast. Very useful in summer holidays when you've got nothing else to do. So, thank you for letting me be part of this. It's been brilliant. Thank you to the viewers who've left all the questions in the comments. Genuinely, you make the shows 2 hours long. It's very, very useful. And yeah, I don't know if we're going to make another 100, probably because this will get us taken off YouTube. But,
It's okay, just censor it. Just censor half of the podcast.
Someone will have to sit through 2 hours of this to
Me.
censor it.
Me.
I am
Have fun.
sorry. I am so
Sorry.
sorry.
Good luck.
I love you.
But yes.
May
thank
the
you very
Emperor be with you.
So I'll, if people want to sign themselves off, that's fine. But thank you very much. This has been episode 100 of Adeptus Podcastus. It's gone about as well as you could have expected.
Here's to another 100 more.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye, everybody.
Time to die, kids.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and send beat pics.
Wow,
So
doing
who's
that
that
made me want
pornography
to end my
drawn up
life.
around
All of us are in
I'm
your
trying to
house
keep up with
now.
Frederick. Dang.
Unironically, if you do have a Warhammer Discord, though, because I have a giant collection.
You have a problem, Angus.
I enjoy. Okay, listen. I actually really enjoy like interacting with fans. It's like one of the highlights of my day, like bringing a smile to somebody's face. Like I am an E tier bottom bitch internet voice actor, and like if I can make somebody happy by just being that, that's fantastic.
I prefer to give people existential crises, but that's just me.
Horrifying facts about medical problems.
If
You
I
want
could
me
just
on
for a
Warhammer
moment, I
Radio,
just wanted to
I'll
say
fucking do that shit.
this was a ton of fun, and you're all wonderful people, and I find myself in excellent company.
So how long do you
The
think
best
until
company.
how long do you think until Sexually Eddie draws all of this as like a big orgy?
And that's the end of the
Inevitable.
show.
Yes. Thanks for joining us,
Probably will happen whenever we actually manage to end the podcast.
End there.
Cut now.
Thank you for having us. It's been really fun.
One.
Bye. Hey, bye.
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 And cut.
Goodbye, Jojo.